Tap to Unlock Talent Awakening Process for Unlocking Human Potential by Percival Hurditt. Read by Dallin E. Decker of Soundfridge.com. Soundfridge, seriously cool voiceovers. Note to the reader. While the author of this book has made reasonable efforts to ensure the accuracy and timeliness of the information contained herein, the author and publisher assume no liability with respect to loss or damage caused, or alleged to be caused, by any reliance on any information contained herein, and disclaim any and all warranties, expressed or implied, as to the accuracy or reliability of said information. The author makes no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this work, and specifically disclaims all warranties. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for every situation. It is the complete responsibility of the reader to ensure that they are adhering to all local, regional, and national laws. This publication is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regard to the subject matter covered. Introduction: Awakening the Talent in All of Us. Research has shown that the average person only uses about 5% of their natural abilities. Moreover, the results of these studies are astounding, given the tremendous emphasis on productivity enhancements in recent times. Despite the improvements in technology, the growth in knowledge, the interconnectedness in work, improvements in transportation, electricity, healthcare, and other things, we are yet to bring the average utilization of each human being close to 100%. Although 100% utilization of human capacity is highly unlikely in any circumstance, the fact is that the improvements in many aspects of life have not allowed us to access much of our abilities. Awakening talent can be very difficult to arrive at. In fact, many persons go through life without unearthing their talents simply because they have taken the path of least resistance. We can equally liken the mining of talent to mining gold. Though the rewards are wonderful, the work to get to the finished product may be excruciatingly difficult. In most cases, it takes a tremendous deal of confidence, drive, and passion to extract the real value of our talents. Many talented individuals go through life without being acknowledged, and some who were labeled as misfits early in their lives later proved to be specially gifted in diverse ways. For instance, at the age of 16, Albert Einstein failed to reach the required standard in the general section of the Swiss Federal Polytechnic exam, but he moved on to become, arguably, one of the greatest scientists in the world, celebrated and made reference until this date. Asafa Powell was a relatively unknown quantity in his Jamaican high school years. However, at the age of 22 years old, he broke the men's 100-meter world record by clocking an astonishing 9.77 seconds. While in high school, a young Michael Jordan tried out for the varsity basketball team in his sophomore year, but was deemed too short to play at that level. Currently, he is, arguably, the best player to ever play basketball. Ludwig van Beethoven was told he would fail at music, but he ended up being one of the most famous and influential of all composers while contending with hearing problems. Likewise, Lionel Messi was thought to be too small to play soccer, and by way of his performance, he is one of the most decorated players in soccer history, his close competitor being Cristiano Ronaldo. In each of these cases, they all proved to be of exceptional quality later in their lives, despite enduring elements of doubt about their ability at the early stage of their lives. Therefore, this book looks at talent from a particular angle. Here, the core ability of each human being is viewed as a complex composite of inclinations. A talent is examined as any particular inclination that a human being possesses and exists at various degrees of intensity. Talents begin in natural form, but may be translated into useful skills with appropriate stimulation, usually in the form of learning and work. Like the case of a gramophone with adjustment knobs that may each be tuned to extract the perfect sound, similarly, human beings may be primed to obtain an optimal level of productivity by transforming raw talents into useful skills and effectively applying these skills. In other words, every human being may be compared to a touch lamp that, when properly stimulated, will shine brighter for the world to see. Unfortunately, talents may not always be nurtured in the best ways, as there seems to be systemic forces that result in a high level of disengagement and fulfillment for many individuals. For instance, after leaving the formal educational institutions, many people seek jobs that require a high degree of specialization in areas not suited for their talents, and these individuals often get lost in the system. Many people live without support and encouragement and are unable to find their niche, their thing, as well as their calling. They stand alone in a burdensome world like this, with no one to assist them in finding their way. Many have given up on finding their true purpose that aligns their work with their raw inclinations, while some are not able to overcome financial and psychological restrictions that prevent them from seeking optimal performance. There are many cases where parents give up on helping their children to properly apply their natural abilities, as they are often preoccupied with daily survival responsibilities, which include food provision, clothing, and shelter for their children. Generally speaking, the following questions need an answer. Can a cohesive method be developed to engage abilities? Why have so many individuals blessed with abilities resigned themselves to a life of no fulfillment and mediocrity? Why do we often find ourselves in a very unforgiving cycle that pushes us toward basic survival instead of real fulfillment? Why do we feel so alone in the quest to make something of ourselves? Where is the support system when we need it most? Where are the coaches? Where are the mentors? How do we get back on a path of correction after we make missteps or are forced to turn in directions that are not in line with our destined direction? Is it that we do not have talents like the very successful people? Are our talents latent, dormant, and not optimized? While we may openly discuss the idea of one reaching his true potential, the basic truth is that it is highly unlikely. In this book, we will speak of potential aligned results, PAR, as the benchmark to what a human being can accomplish in any given area. However, it must be noted that human beings are so rich with abilities that it is difficult to imagine anyone obtaining 100% of their PAR. We may agree that those who have done very little talent unlocking will operate at a level that is inferior to their PAR performance, while those who have experienced a fair degree of awakening will operate relatively close to their PAR performance. If you speak to any great achiever in any field, what they will generally admit is that they could have done better. In other words, they would have tapped into resources that some individuals never experience in life, and this in turn makes them become more aware of the abundance of their own potential. The internationally acclaimed educator, Sir Ken Robinson, is a very consistent proponent of customized education, who holds the view that education is not restricted to a specific form or place, and should not be restricted by a specific set of policies. He viewed that the value of education is determined by the extent to which it helps to develop individuals with diverse backgrounds and attributes. These views are in line with a talent-centered approach to assessing human performance. Placing talent at the heart of the conversation allows us to zoom in on the special inclinations of individuals and to appreciate the peculiar attributes of each person. As Sir Ken has indicated on different occasions, the development and use of our talent goes a far way in determining the lives we experience. In the next few chapters, we will seek to present a framework that contributes in even a small way to the understanding of talent. More importantly, we will provide a cohesive framework to understand the level of talent activation and propose solutions to create greater talent awakening. In brief, we will be providing a talent awakening process, TAP, for unlocking human potential. Chapter 2. Discovering your talents. Our view of ourselves is extremely complex. Ironically, much like we cannot see our own nose, we are often blinded to the things that we are best at. It can be indeed difficult to distinguish our brightest talents, and they are regularly in the places we least believe. We may be very good at things that we perceive ourselves as being bad at. There are lots of good motives to want to delve into your talents, but it's going to take slight effort. Reflecting on yourself. Free your mind to every path. Because you are probably blind to what few of your talents actually are, the best place to begin when assessing your talents is to just free your mind to the chances. Bear in mind that talents stretch out beyond merely dancing just like a pro or playing the guitar. Talents appear in all sizes and shapes and stretch out into several areas of life. Look back on your past. As you evaluate yourself looking for your talents, begin by exploring your past. Explore the things you've performed. Explore the things you've adored. Explore the times when you actually do extremely well. Ask yourself questions such as, when was I so satisfied that I didn't worry about what anyone believed? Or, what am I most satisfied of what I've done? One great thing to reflect on was what your childhood was really like. What did you do a lot as a kid? What did you adore? What were you well known for? At times, this can uncover several of our inmost talents and definitely will uncover interests that can be explored further. One more thing you can consider is the times in your life that you've faced challenges. Consider the difficult circumstances that you've had to contend with. Times of challenge can often expose our concealed talents. Consider what you adore. The things that give you happiness can as well uncover your talents. Consider the things that you appreciate to do. Do other people ever give you commendations on it? Do they ever request for your assistance with it? You may perhaps not think of it as a talent, but undoubtedly it is. Do you ever absolutely lose track of time? You start off doing something and you simply don't even become aware of time passing? This may possibly hint at your talent. Pay attention to the way you talk. Do you ever realize yourself rambling to your best friend or your family concerning this subject that means a lot to you? This may possibly be an additional hint at a talent you're having. Assess what you're really good at. Now, there's a huge difference between what you adore and what you're skillful at. You may possibly think of your talents as just being things that you adore doing, but it's very important to bear in mind that our talents are regularly things we don't adore or things we don't even consider. This is why it's very vital to take a long, powerful look at what you're really skillful at. Consider things that come openly to you, things you don't tussle with. Do you ever discover yourself saying to someone, "Here, let me assist you with that," or, "Never mind, it's simpler if I do it"? Do you notice yourself putting people right? These activities usually show something that you're really skillful at and understand a lot about. Consider times you were successful. Look back on your life and consider times where you actually achieved something, times where you felt about to break out with the pride of your achievement. This can imply a talent you have. Write down your life story. This practice can assist you in revealing not just the talents that you have, but also the talents that you should consider budding. Write about what you were actually like when you were a kid, what you enjoyed doing before and after school, what your much-loved subjects were. Write regarding growing up. Write regarding where you're at in your current life. Now, write concerning your future. Write concerning where you would like to go. Write concerning what you would like people to say at your funeral after death. Ask around. Possessing an external perception, other people may possibly find it easier to see what you're really good at. Ask around and people will always be glad to tell you what they realize as your strengths. Be sure to communicate with people that know you well and also with people that hardly know you. They will both see you in different ways, and the differences that they see can tell you even more about yourself. Experiencing life. Create time for new things. Your life ought to have room for realizing your talents. If you spend the entire day on the couch after work or school, or you spend the whole of your waking weekend hours at parties, then you're going to have insufficient time for self-discovery. Your talents will regularly exist in actions or activities that you're yet to try, and if you don't create time for those activities, then you'll never develop beyond what you currently are. Make your time. While other people can assist you in discovering your talents, it's also very vital to take some time that's only for you. Self-discovery does require lots of self-reflection, and if you're spending your entire time watching movies together with your friends, you most likely won't get the time you need to truly know yourself. Take a quiet few days that are only for you and spend them doing new things. Develop on your present skills. You perhaps already have some necessary skills. Any skill that you have can be transformed to take full advantage of your real talents, but you have to take the time to discover the connections and to make the necessary adjustments. You have to work on experiencing your talents more fully while performing the activities. You may possibly have experienced just a small aspect of an imaginable talent, and you will have to experience a lot more if you really want to engage and nurture it. Attempt things you never have attempted before. Sometimes we tell ourselves that we can't do things. Perhaps we think we're not smart enough or not good enough. Very often, we view ourselves as not that type of a person. But the thing is that you really don't know you're that type of person till you start turning out to be that person. You have to give life a chance to surprise you. You're much more amazing and appealing than you acknowledge yourself for. Take a risk and try something totally different than anything you've ever tried before. Take classes in subjects that are of interest to you. If there's any subject that is of interest to you and you believe you might want to link it to an existing talent, think about taking a class. Acquiring more information and discovering what the experience would actually be like can tell you if it's actually something you could use to develop existing talents. It will also assist you in getting the basic skills required to start building your talent if you choose it's something you would like to do. You can take online classes for free from websites like Coursera and University of the People if you don't have access to education resources. If you really have money and time to dedicate to a class, however, attempt your local district and technical colleges and your local community center. Travel to grow your experiences. Traveling is one of the most impactful experiences you can have. It will make you more courageous and teach you more concerning yourself than you believed possible. However, you can't just take the easy route and go on a cruise or a guided trip. Go out on your own. Go someplace different from anywhere you've ever been to. Engage yourself in the event. Attempt new things and meet new people. You'll find yourself striving in certain areas, but you'll as well find that there are other events that you can do without difficulty or that make you truly happy. Traveling can appear expensive, but it actually depends on where you travel to, when, and what you really do. It doesn't need to be a costly experience. You can as well travel a little bit more close to your home and get the same sort of advantages. Deal with challenges. When we have to work hard, when we're detaching ourselves from our regular comfortable environment, is when we discover the most regarding ourselves. When you set yourself apart from challenges by just sticking to a peaceful life and never going out of the house, or even withdrawing when times get hard or running from your difficulties, you deny yourself the opportunity to shine. Allow challenges to take place. Try to deal with your challenges and get out and live life a little more so that you have the opportunity to overcome challenges that you come across. Offer to help shift your perception. In experiencing only your personal life and your personal world, it's easy to have your mind shut to the potentials of what you are and the potentials of what you could be. When you assist others in significant and impactful ways, you'll find that you see yourself in a new light. Your main concern will change. You might even have the opportunity to shine in a talent you didn't even realize you had, or develop a new talent through the work you do. Chapter 3. Talent Endowment, Talent Development, and Deliberate Practice. 20 years ago, it was proposed by Erickson, Cramp, and Tesh Romer that expert performance reflects a long period of deliberate practice rather than raw innate ability or talent. They discovered that elite musicians had accumulated thousands of hours more deliberate practice than less accomplished musicians. In this context, the term talent is used to describe a special or natural aptitude to do something and not the ability to execute a specific task well. The Oxford Dictionary defines talent as a natural aptitude or skill. We often focus our interpretations on macro aptitudes and inclinations, like a talent for playing basketball. However, exceptional eye, hand, and foot coordination that facilitate the ability to dribble a basketball may also be viewed as low-level talents. Lower-level talents are usually transferable to different situations. For example, an individual with exceptional basketball dribbling ability, if cultured differently, may turn out to be an exceptional tennis player instead. The natural ability to pay attention to details may make a person suitable to deal with numbers and to perform well in accounting tasks, but when exposed to a different culture, this accounting talent may turn out to be a tremendous sound recording engineer. An individual may be born with an inclination to remain composed in testing situations and may be developed to be a skillful surgeon. Maybe, if exposed to the appropriate piloting lessons, this surgeon would also have done well at steering an airplane through a hostile storm. We may consider the simpler base talents to be root talents or macro talents. Root talents may make up more complex macro talents. Altogether, macro talents are functions of root talents that may have greater applicability than what first meets the eyes. There are various views on whether individuals are born with talents or whether these abilities are developed over time by intentional or unintentional influences. In this book, talent is viewed as a dynamic and ever-evolving ability. Every individual performs an activity by harnessing unique atomic inclinations, which are as microscopic as our imaginations will allow them to be. An inclination is a form of physical or chemical attribute which, when exposed to the right stimuli, will grow over time. These atomic inclinations will be referred to as root talents. See talent forms 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B in Figure 1. The fusion of root talents creates even more complex talent forms. See talent forms 1, 2, and 3 in Figure 1. While simple tasks, such as taking up a bottle, may require the application of low-level talent forms, more complex tasks, such as operating an airplane, require the use of more high-level talent forms. To see a visual representation of this, consult the Talent Hierarchy Snapshot on page 18 of the paper text. In our talent hierarchy, there are root talents that form more composite macro talents. Note that these categories are not intended to be rigid labels. A macro talent in one instance may be a root talent in another instance, and vice versa. For instance, Usain Bolt, the iconic Jamaican sprinter and multiple Olympic and world champion, may have been blessed with tremendous top-end sprinting speed. He may also have been blessed with supreme confidence that contributes to his record-breaking 100-meter performances. Bolt's ability to run the 100 meters may be viewed as a macro composition of his other root talents, such as top-end speed and confidence. However, his top-end speed may be viewed as a macro talent that he inherits from his long legs and his endowment of fast-twitch muscles. What is most important is to view each talent as a complex hierarchy of subcomponents. The most atomic of these components may go even beyond human comprehension. Therefore, we propose that when any group of inclinations is called upon to perform a task, the human brain uses a framework to pull the necessary parts together. Over time, influences such as deliberate or purposeful practice will help to improve this framework. In his book titled Peak: Secrets from the New Science of Expertise, Anders Ericsson explains that purposeful practice must have at least 4 important components. They include a meaningful goal, intense focus, appropriate feedback, and willingness to exit one's comfort zone. In our view, a goal can only be meaningful if the individual develops a mental framework of the task to be completed and comprehends the task sufficiently to map specific talents to different components of the task. This is where work must be done by the individual and by the handlers involved in the talent development process to create some form of understanding, such that the individual can make the necessary connections required to carry out purposeful practice. Once this comprehension is obtained, the individual must block out unnecessary information and interferences and devote focus to the improvement process. Moreover, the greater the focus, the more impactful the improvement activities will be. Repeated application of stimuli at this stage will lead to the hardwiring of the brain over time, as the new neural channels will be developed and strengthened to perform the chosen activities. Also, feedback plays a critical role in this process, as it allows the necessary corrections or adjustments to be made in order to refine activity execution. The talented individual must be opened to push beyond comfort levels, as higher levels of operation require growth beyond comfort. Please see page 20 of the text for Figure 2, the Talent Development Curve, TDC, which demonstrates that purposeful practice time or number of repetitions, and the effective stimulation under standard and consistent conditions create a talent competency curve. Again, this figure can be found on page 20 of the text. The improvement in the ability of a root talent to execute a task may be reflected as a talent development curve, TDC. The TDC provides another view of the talents described in the talent hierarchy snapshot above. This view reflects the relationship between the talent competency against a purposeful practice and effective stimulation. As shown in Figure 2 above and on page 20 of the text, the development of a single low-level talent may be depicted by a TDC. These curves are purely hypothetical, but serve as visual aids for the talent development discussion. For simplicity, we will assume that the root talent development curve has a particular shape. We note, however, that in reality the shapes or magnitude of these curves may adjust as external stimuli is applied. We assume that this type of change will occur in very exceptional circumstances, though, as they represent changes in inclination. We also assume that most of the observed changes in competency are reflecting movements along an existing TDC. A TDC for a particular root talent illustrates the manner in which the root talent develops when purposeful practice and effective stimulation is applied under standard and consistent conditions. Improvements in talent that are more skill-specific may be readily observed when there is repetition of action. Talents that are more related to emotions and personality traits, mostly referred to as supertalents later in this book, however, may not reflect direct competency improvements when specific activities are repeated. These talents may require forms of stimulation beyond repetition. The positioning and shape of the TDC captures the essence of inclination. For illustration, we use three persons A, B, and C, with different TDC patterns. In all three cases, we assume that root talent capabilities generally improve as repetition is applied. It may be fair to assume in this exercise that each person is starting with some basic aptitude for the chosen root talent. In this case, person A starts with a root talent competency of 200 units before the repetition is applied, while person B and person C both start at approximately 500 units of root talent competency. Assuming that the TDCs do not change, the major difference for each person in this illustration is that the shape of their talent competency curve is different at different points, and the talent competency maximum point, apex, is also different. As we have indicated before, the differences in the shape and maximum of the TDC for each person represents their inclination. Notably, at 10 units of repetition, purposeful practice under similar conditions, person A experiences a root talent competency of 400 units. At the same level of purposeful practice, persons B and C experience root talent competencies of approximately 700 units and 800 units, respectively. Notably, each person's TDC may steepen at different points of purposeful practice. Although person A has a TDC that is inferior to that of persons B and C for similar levels of practice, person A may experience higher levels of competency if more repetitions are routinely applied. For instance, James and John are both basketball players purposefully practicing a jump shot from the same spot on the basketball court. James is supported by a TDC similar to that of person B and is generally considered to be more gifted. John, on the other hand, has a TDC similar to that of person A. If both players practiced 5 shots a day, James would reach a hypothetical competency level of 500 units, while John would reach a competency level of 200 units. If both players practiced 30 shots a day, James would reach a competency level greater than 1,000 units, while John would reach a competency level closer to 800 units. If James was to become complacent with his superior inclination, however, and only practices 5 shots a day, while John puts in more work and shoots 30 shots a day, John would operate at a competency level of 800 units, while James would operate at a competency level of 500 units. This highlights the importance of repetition and even suggests how work ethic could make the person with the weaker root talent inclination operate at a higher level of competency. Recall, the TDCs reflected above are purely hypothetical, and the important point to consider is that this curve may increase at different rates at different frequencies of repetition. The maximum level reached by the curve indicates the talent apex, which is the key to potential aligned results, PAR. According to Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers, The Story of Success, it generally takes 10,000 hours to become very good in any field. The 10,000-hour idea, even if it is not perfectly accurate, highlights the importance of deliberate practice. Note that this pattern may be very different for different individuals. Also, under certain conditions, such as in a more focused environment, the talent development process may be altered. Be aware also that talents such as work ethic, confidence, drive, and determination may help to boost purposeful and deliberate practice. The endowment of a specific set of root or low-level talents may be relatively more important in less complex events such as a 50-meter sprint than it is for a more complex talent such as video game development. In reality, the idea that is represented by the TDC for a root talent must be joined with the idea illustrated in the talent hierarchy snapshot. Therefore, root talents that display variable competency levels when purposeful practice is applied will have to be combined, as reflected in the talent hierarchy snapshot, to form more complex talents. These complex talents will also form new TDCs, since the complex talents will become root talents for other, more complex talent. For example, John and James both experience different TDCs for their jump shots. Likewise, they will experience different TDCs for their ability to dribble, or their ability to pass the basketball to their team members while their team is completing an attacking sequence. They will experience different TDCs for their work ethic in live games and in training. These relatively low-level competencies will come together to form a TDC for each player's ability to play the game of basketball. Importance of using your talent. Finding your talents and using them well is one of the most important things that you can carry out in your life to live a fulfilling life. Using your talents well not only gives you satisfaction, but it likewise leads you to get several opportunities. There are tons of benefits that you can acquire from making use of your own talents. A lot of people think that they are not in any way creative. As a matter of fact, each and every individual is unique in his life. As each and every one of us differs in terms of potentials, each and every individual has unique talents. The thing that is crucial here is that one should discover one's talent. It entails giving a serious thought concerning the way you live and the qualities of your life. This would not only lead you to discover your talent, but also to fulfill your purposes of life. It must be observed that personal growth is vital to live a better life, and for building personal growth, there is a need for making your talents noticeable and working towards improving them more. Each and every one of us is heavenly gifted in a special way. Your distinctive abilities or skills make you stand separately from others by making you more valuable and more positive and happy. They will also assist you in uncovering the important objectives of life while making you feel successful in all the affairs of your daily life that you deal with. Precisely, God-given abilities or aptitudes or talents that you have possessed make the greatest difference in your life, providing that you acknowledge them and get the most out of them for yourself and for others. It is highly important to know your special gifts or talents, personalities, or creative strengths with the purpose of living your life to the fullest, because you will discover the true meaning of life and realize its purposes while you build your life well and choose willfully to be happy. If you find your talents and use them in a wise way, you will be making a wonderful personal contribution to yourself and the society at large. Your talent is not only for you, but to serve other people as well. It is worthy to reference here the saying, "Your talent is God's present or gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God." In this way, it would be greatly unjust if you hide your talents. Instead, you need to search for the effective means to develop your creative process and apply your talents. Irrespective of the individual's preferred field of struggle, everyone is blessed with those abilities that can help oneself and others. All that you're required to do is to create such an atmosphere in which your talents may flourish and develop. It requires thinking about the positive sides of your personality positively, while it helps in releasing your hidden potentials. Thus, discover your hidden talents and begin using them well and efficiently, so that you may perhaps not only pass a successful life, but also build such an atmosphere for others that you can do good to them also. In this way, you will find ways for cultivating joys and bringing happiness. Using your talents need not to be considered as limited to your personal life, but it should assist you in your professional life also. There are times when you may think that a certain activity, process, or procedure that you deal with can be changed for the better. You may possess the ability to make the required change. In this way, you can motivate yourself to enhance your creativity by thinking critically to get it done. Thus, there will be a time when you will gain more knowledge, more skills, that in turn will lead you to attain more experience, expertise, and exposure in relation to your profession. Certainly, all this could be achievable if you use your talents well and efficiently. Chapter 4. Using and improving your abilities. Every one of us has exceptional skills and abilities to contribute to humankind. In spite of knowing this, it can be difficult to understand what those skills are and how to utilize them well. Whether you're a numbers genius, you do embroidery, or you stand out socially, there are many ways to put your skills to use and develop them along the way. Realizing your skills. Recognize your skills. You can have lots of different types of skills and not even be aware of it. Skills aren't just experience, but are ways of relating to people and information. Skill types can involve technical skills, transferable skills, and personal skills. Technical skills are the how-tos, such as creating or fixing things, and administering or following rules, such as being a mechanic, nurse, artist, or race car driver. Transferable skills are skills that can assist in several situations, such as customer service, organization, leadership, and teamwork, and can be helpful across several professions or events. Personal skills involve having initiative, being reliable, being self-motivated, and paying attention to your gut or intuition. Reflect on what gives you happiness. There's no value in using and improving skills you don't adore. Even if you're having skills you stand out in, don't bother yourself doing things that you don't find exciting. Bear in mind that money cannot buy joy. Instead, reflect on things that give you happiness. Perhaps you relate well with everyone, are naturally appealing, and adore making friends. You may want to work in sales or do activities that involve lots of people, like coordinating volunteer opportunities. Or perhaps you love taking things apart and assembling them back. Maybe you wish to become a mechanic or have a hobby repairing old toys. These are skills you can make use of. By identifying what gives you happiness, you can chase areas in your life to trigger your skills and be happy while taking action on it. Create goals. People who are goal-oriented tend to be happier and achieve more. Reflect on what you wish to improve and what drives you to want to develop these skills. When making goals, ensure they are SMART. Capital S, capital M, capital A, capital R, capital T. S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for results focused, and T for timely. Pursue an education. Formal education is highly valued by many and serves to give integrity in several fields. If you'd love to use and improve your skills in computers, engineering, psychology, foreign language, etc., getting formal education is a valuable route to take, particularly if you'd like to have a job in one of these fields. Make network or friends. Networking can be a valuable business and personal skill. By owning a network, you open yourself up to people, information, and power. Look for ways to meet other people in your field of interest, whether at events, through social media, or through friends of friends. Using your skills. Make use of your resources. You may adore singing, but not be sure of the way to use that skill. Perhaps you have interest in writing, but can't seem to find a way to employ this skill. In this case, it may make sense to link with people who may possibly be able to assist you in finding ways to make use of your skills. Ask family, friends, coworkers, and people of your spiritual community about ways to open up your skills. Several community colleges offer career aptitude tests. Though you may or may not make use of it to work toward your career, these tests can assist you in defining your strengths and weaknesses. Transfer your abilities. Perhaps you want to change careers but fear not having experience in the new field. Perhaps you wish to go back to work after being a stay-at-home mom but think that you have nothing to give. Reflect on what skills you do have and build up those skills. For example, a stay-at-home mom may possibly have time management skills, superb organization skills, taking charge, staying calm under pressure, and the power to multitask. You can continuously study new skills, but cherish the skills you have and make them recognized. Volunteer. One way to make use of your skills is through volunteering. Many big non-government organizations exist that do great things for the community. Volunteering is a brilliant way to find your skills as well. In addition, volunteering links you with other people and can improve your skills. Volunteering is great for your mind as well as your body, increasing confidence and giving you a sense of purpose. Contribute to your community. Besides volunteering, being an active contributor in your community can be satisfying and beneficial. You can work or volunteer for your community center, serve on local government, or participate in a church or religious setting based on the skills you want to use or develop. Pursue a career. If you are zealous and wish to surround your life with your much-loved activity, build a career out of it. Several artists understand that the artist lifestyle can be hard, but decide to pursue it anyway because they cannot picture doing anything else. Immediately your livelihood depends on making use of and improving your skills, You may possibly find new ways to handle problems and different methods to creatively use your skills. Improving your skills. Engage in leadership. Chase opportunities to lead by making use of your skills. Being a leader builds value in the skills you've acquired and authority in your skill and experience. If people respect you as a leader, they may perhaps expect you to make decisions, to be a professional, and to manage difficult situations. Having these responsibilities can assist you in approaching things in different ways and think about things in a new view. If you have a plan, don't wait for another person to step up. Go do it. Be a mentor. Mentoring someone else who shares your interests is a great way to approach your interests in a new way. You now have a responsibility as a leader and a teacher, which indicates you have chances to creatively tackle learning in new ways. Knowing that other people are watching you or looking up to you can push you to do great work. Engage in some pleasant competition. Feeling competitive is both normal and healthy. Competition can, as well, assist us in growing. Engage in some pleasant competition with any other person that shares your skills. Compete to sell the most paintings in a month or create the most original designs. Look for a business competitor and request if there's benefit for a short-term competition. Balance criticism. It's very easy to disregard all the positive feedback when you get one negative comment. Bear in mind your passion for making use of your skills and continue trying. Handle criticism as positive. Pay attention to what is said, don't be wary, and understand that failure always goes with risk. Realize that sometimes people are just mean. Take negative feedback with a grain of salt, see what can be improved, and move on. Join an organization. Whether it's a hobby convention or a qualified organization, joining with other people in a formal setting can assist you in improving your skills or hold them sharp. Go to workshops or lectures planned by the organization. Engage yourself with the culture. Be determined. You may possibly experience momentary lulls in efficiency or feel like your work has become still. Don't surrender. Look for creative ways to tackle your problems and then keep going. Do it, master it, then develop it. Chapter 5. Feeling confident with your talents. Every one of us are born with talents that separate us from the crowd, unique traits that make us who we are and structure our life stories. Whether your talent is swimming, singing, being an excellent listener, or coming up with creative business ideas, you've got to nurture and commend what makes you exceptional. Understanding your talents and having the buoyancy to share them will assist you in reaching your full potential and feeling more gratified in life. If you desire to learn the way to feel confident concerning what makes you exceptional, read along. Identifying your talents. Understand that anything can turn out to be a talent. Some people instantly know what their talents really are, but in other circumstances it can be difficult to identify something as a talent. But any form of activity you can implement with skill and easiness, any activity that feels normal to you, can turn out to be a talent. Discover talents you've been hiding. You most likely have some exceptional talents that have been hidden since you were a little child, or talents you never use because you don't actually view them as valuable. Perhaps you even find them a little awkward. But if you're good at something, try to make it a part of your life. Paying no attention to a special talent will make you believe something is missing. Don't judge what makes you different. There is something worthy and exceptional about every talent. Not only the in-your-face, inspiring talents like professional snowboarding or opera singing. Welcome the talents you were born with, and choose how you're going to make the most of them, rather than hoping you had a talent you don't. There's a room for every single talent, a responsibility for everyone to play. As soon as you see this, you'll start acquiring confidence. Save yourself from being subdued by others. Sometimes our natural talents get concealed when we live by others' prospects of what we have to be good at. If you've been working, living, or attending school in a world in which your talents aren't recognized, you may perhaps be confused as to what they really even are at this stage. Bear in mind that your talents are what make you the real you, and they can't be determined by anyone else. They are part of your regular makeup. Don't be ashamed of your talent. Even if it's weird in your group of friends, you're guaranteed to find another group who thinks it's amazing and special. Study outside your usual jurisdiction if no one around you seems like appreciating your talents. Look for online forums for people with similar interests. Perhaps you've been showed that your talent is meaningless, or worse, that it's something to be embarrassed of. Our friends, parents, and society at large can put pressure on us to be something we're not. Don't allow yourself to be limited by other people's beliefs. Take up your talents. Be thankful for them. It's very easy to repress talents or waste time wishing you had talents you don't, and a lot of people get stuck in a rut doing just that. That's why as soon as you've identified and take up your special talents, lots of people would consider you to be extremely lucky. Just reading this chapter is a first step to having your talents, and now you're on your way to experience just how rich life can be when you're using your extraordinary talents. Now that you're prepared to make your talents a better part of your natural life, it's time to cultivate them so you can boost your confidence. Cultivating your talents. Exercise your talents. The ability to be good at something is inside you, but that doesn't imply you'll excel without attempt. The most talented artistes in the world use hours practicing every day, delving into the depths of their talents. It's no different from any type of talent. You possess the natural ability to implement it, but you'll have no knowledge of how powerful your talent can be except you implement it. As you begin filling out your talent, buoyancy in your capabilities will soon follow. Learn everything you can concerning them. Make some research to discover more concerning the way you can delve into your talents. Whether the talent you desire to study is about something several other people share, or it's very remarkable, there are certain to be lots of articles, books, and interviews you can go through on the subject. Look for a mentor to educate you more. Getting a role model or good mentor to assist you in developing your talent is priceless. Look for people who have been applying the same talent and can share their insight with you and assist you in growing. For instance, if you're a talented but inexperienced sales rep, listen to people that have been in the business longer than you and have a great deal to teach you regarding the business. The connection between a mentor and his or her protege is pleasing for both people. The protege gets the benefit of the mentor's experience and guidance, while the mentor feels the satisfaction of sharing hard-earned knowledge and getting a fresh perspective from someone new to the field. Getting a great mentor isn't always that easy. However, you can always get a role model. If you're not familiar with anyone directly who may possibly want to take you under his or her arm, you can still be devoted to someone you know via books or online lectures. Don't be scared to send the person an email or get in touch via Twitter. Recover from failures. Just because you're gifted at something doesn't imply you're going to execute it well each time. Don't give up when you fail, which you almost certainly will from time to time. If you punched a wall whenever you made a mistake, you will certainly not get to achieve your full potential. Don't worry concerning what other people think. The journey of determining and cultivating your talents might be daunting or puzzling to other people. Perhaps you used to spend time with your friends each Friday and Saturday night, but now you're keeping more time to act on your writing skill. Perhaps your parents aren't pleased because you dumped extracurricular activities you aren't interested in any longer so you can concentrate exclusively on the talents you want to cultivate. Your choices won't always make complete sense to other people, but as you earn confidence and self-importance, they'll come to understand that your talents are part of your personality and they aren't leaving. Feeling proud of your talents. Share your talents among other people. One of the finest things regarding special talents is that you can make use of them to give joy to other people. Devise how you can dole out your talents to make the world a better place for people. Share your talents with friends, family, and people you've never even met to get the very most out of the special gifts you were born with. Bring to mind the happiness you feel when other people dole out their talents. Your favorite movies, songs, jokes, and meals would never have touched your life if their inventors hadn't felt the desire to share their talents with the rest of the world. Even if your talent cannot be shared in a clear way, there is perhaps still a way you can make use of it to influence other people. For instance, if you're gifted at meditating, you may well head a meditation group, or just tell people the way they can experience the advantages of meditation. Teach other people more regarding your talents. Once you've exercised your talent and achieved experience and confidence, you may possibly want to teach other people what you've learned. People with simple, inexperienced talent could make use of your expertise. Think about making one of your talents your career. If you're having a talent about which you are very obsessive, that you desire to do it all day long every single day, you may perhaps want to research getting a way to start getting paid for it. The thoughtful situation, where talent, wish, and money interconnect, is a guideline for the dream job of most people. If you believe your talent is something people would pay you to execute, you may possibly want to give it a try. Several people dislike transforming their talent, an action they do for fun, into work they carry out for a fee. Building a career out of acting or singing, for instance, takes a great amount of energy, and the path is not always that easy. If you'd rather have a distinct job and follow your talent as a pleasing activity you do in your leisure time, there's no embarrassment in that. On the other hand, you'll be contented at your job if it permits you to practice one of your talents. If you're someone with creativity, try to get a way to use creativity at work. If you're a perfect listener and a problem solver, there's a method to make use of those talents at work, even if you don't wish to become a therapist. Be free studying new talents. There's no need to constrain yourself by believing that your talents are limited. Truthfully, as you earn life experience and self-reliance, you'll learn more and more hidden talents all through life. Whenever you attempt something new, there's a possibility you'll discover a talent you never knew was there. Study how to distinguish and develop your talents as you realize them, regardless of what they are. Chapter 6: Discovering Your Purpose and Fulfilling Your Destiny. You have a well-defined purpose. Every one of us does. Learn to make use of your talents, abilities, resources, and desires to establish your purpose. Purpose in due course leads you to your destiny. Then your existence will start to make sense. You will start to have true peace of mind, contentment, joy, and power to be successful. Every one of us has a form of wealth. Purpose of wealth is the detection of how to make use of my assets to fulfill my destiny and to be the answer to a need or the redemption of a soul, community, or a country. Listed below are steps to take in discovering your purpose and fulfilling your destiny. Establish your unique trap, TRAP. Every one of us is blessed with talents and gifts. Some may possibly have more talents than others, but each and every one of us have at least one. We all also have resources, skills, and passions. Let's take a brief look at the way these lead to discovering why you are here on Earth and what you can do with your life, purpose. Grab a blank sheet of paper and fold it straight up in the middle and then horizontally in the middle. This would give you 4 quadrants. In the first quadrant, upper left, write down the word talents. In the second quadrant, write down the word resources. In the third, write down abilities. In the fourth and last quadrant, write down passions. We refer to this as the unique trap. Discover and record your talents. Have a record of your talents. A talent is something that you can carry out with wonderful skill but did not have to study or train to acquire. Examples: an ability to speak in public without any fear or uneasiness. An ability to play a musical instrument but never have gone for a single music lesson. An ability to paint fantastic artworks without any mentoring or training. These are truly remarkable to nearly every one of us. If you possess these abilities, we would declare that you have a talent. Evaluate your resources. Have a record of your entire resources. Every one of us have resources. A resource is anything that you have a right to, such as your car, your home, your money, your bank, your cell phone, your office, your job, foods, clothing, storage, your garage, additional bedroom, collection, internet, computer, family, friends, and companions. All and many more of these can be utilized in accomplishing your purpose. If utilized correctly, they can make you rich also. If you sat down and composed a list of your entire resources, you would be stunned. Start seeing everything that you have access to or right to as a resource. It will surely change your life. We have rights to both public and private resources. Public resources are roads, libraries, government, and public education centers. In several countries, there is no reason for not realizing purpose. Our public and private resources are immense. Determine your entire abilities. Create a list of your abilities. Abilities are things you need to learn to do. Can you operate a computer? Can you type? Can you write? Then you can write a novel or screenplay. Can you cook? Then there is a national catering franchise coming up to be born. Can you drive? Someone had to teach you, or at least allow you to use his or her car to learn. So you don't understand how to write a business plan, you say. Someone in your resource list of resources does, even if that someone is the librarian who guides you to where a book is positioned on the shelf. Discover your passions. Determine what gives you the most joy and satisfaction. Is it giving help to elderly people or training a child to learn? Is it art, music, or sports? Is it writing, reading, or meditating? Is it negotiating the deal? Determine what gets your blood going. It is something that you deeply desire. What is that thing that you may perhaps be willing to gamble everything you have to carry out, to be, or to experience? What is it? Discovering the it is to discover your passion. Passion is the single most strong force to drive you to real purpose. It is that part of you that connects you with oxygen. It is the fuel that burns in your veins. It is the nitro that incites your potential to live. Think well about it. Reflect on your lists after studying them carefully. Silently reflect on them for a moment. What is the common theme or common thread running through all of these? Is kindness for people that common theme? Is music that common thread? Is boating or water sport your thing? Is it fashion? Is it children? Is it politics? Is it ministry? Determine the common thread, and you are midway to discovering your purpose. There is more work to be done. You then need to determine if you have fostered each of these to the maximum of your ability. If not, outline a plan to improve your understanding, knowledge, and resources in the area of your strengths. Chapter 7. Setting Goals. Whether you're having small dreams or high potentials, setting goals permits you to design how you want to progress through life. Some accomplishments can take a lifetime to realize, while others can be fulfilled in the sequence of a day. Whether you're setting comprehensive primary goals or planning particular controllable goals, you'll feel a sense of achievement and self-confidence. Getting started can seem discouraging, but you can rise to even the haughtiest dream. Setting achievable goals. 1. Establish your life goals. Ask yourself some significant questions regarding what you want for your life. What do you wish to accomplish today, in a year, in your entire life? The responses to this query can be as universal as, I want to assist people, or I wish to be happy. Think through what you dream to achieve in 5, 10, 15, or 20 years from this time. A career life goal may perhaps be to open your personal business. A personal goal may possibly be to have a family someday. A fitness goal may possibly be to become really fit. These goals can be extraordinarily broad. 2. Split up the big picture into minor and more detailed goals. Consider areas of your life that you either want to change or that you feel you would like to develop with time. Areas may perhaps comprise health, career, family, finances, or education. Start asking yourself questions about what you'd like to achieve in each area and how you would like to approach it within a 5-year time frame. For the life goal, I would like to become fit, you may perhaps make the lesser goals, I would like to eat more healthily, and I would like to run a marathon. For the life goal, I would like to open up my personal business, the lesser goals may possibly be, I would like to learn to handle a business efficiently, and I would like to open a personal bookstore. 3. Write goals for the short term. Now that you know roughly what you want to accomplish within a few years, make concrete goals for you to begin working on now. Give yourself a target within a rational time frame, certainly not more than a year for temporary goals. Writing your goals will make them harder to ignore, consequently making you accountable for them. To become fit, your primary goals may perhaps be to eat lots of vegetables and to run a 5K. To start your personal business, your primary goals may be to take an accounting class and to find the ideal location for your bookstore. 4. Make your goals minor steps that drive you towards greater life goals. Basically, you need to decide why you're setting this goal for yourself and what it will accomplish. Some worthy questions to ask when figuring this out are, does it look worthwhile? Is now the perfect time for this? Does this correspond with my needs? For example, while a short-term fitness goal might be to take up a new sport within 6 months, ask yourself if that will help you reach your bigger goal of running a marathon. If not, think of changing the short-term goal to something that is going to be a step towards encountering the life goal. Adjust your goals periodically. You may find yourself set in your ways concerning broad life goals, but take the time to reevaluate your smaller goals. Are you realizing them rendering to your time frame? Are they still crucial to keep you on track towards your larger life goals? Allow yourself the flexibility to adjust your goals. To become fit, you may have possibly learned running 5K races. Maybe after you run a bit and work on developing your personal best times, you have to adjust your goal from run a 5K to run a 10K. In the long run, you can progress to run a half marathon and then run a marathon. To start your own business, after realizing the first goals of taking an accounting class and finding a location, you may possibly set new goals to acquire a business loan, to buy a space, and to request for the appropriate business licensing via your local government. Subsequently, you can move towards purchasing or hiring the space, then acquiring the books you need, employing staff, and opening your doors to business. In the long run, you might even work towards opening an additional location. Practicing effective goal strategies. 1. Make your goals specific. When setting goals, they have to answer the highly specific questions of what, who, where, when, and why. For every specific goal you make, you need to ask yourself why it is a goal and the way it helps your life goals. To become fit, which is extremely common, you have to make the more specific goal run a marathon, which commences with the short-term goal run a 5K. When you set every short-term goal, such as running a 5K, you can give answers to the questions who? Myself. What? Run a 5K. Where? At the local park. When? In 5 weeks. Why? To thrive towards my marathon running goal. To start your personal business, you have made the short-term goal, take an accounting class. This can be the answer to the questions who? Myself. What? Take an accounting class. Where? Inside the library. When? Each Saturday for 6 weeks. Why? To study how to handle a budget for my business. 2. Build quantifiable goals. For us to track our development, goals have to be quantifiable. I'm going to walk more is far harder to track and quantify than each day I'm going to walk around the track 10 times. Basically, you'll need a few methods of deciding if you're attaining your goal. Run a 5K is a quantifiable goal. You're totally aware when you have done it. You might need to set an even smaller term goal of run at least 2 miles 2 times each week to thrive towards your primary 5K. After your primary 5K, a quantifiable goal would be run an extra 5K in a month but take 5 minutes off of my time. Similarly, take an accounting class is quantifiable because it is a particular class that you will enroll to take and go to each week. A less quantifiable version would be study about accounting, which is ambiguous because it's hard to recognize when you're done studying about accounting. 3. Be accurate with your goals. It is vital to estimate your situation accurately and identify which goals are rational and which are a little unbelievable. Question yourself if you have everything you need to fulfill your goal: resources, knowledge, skill, time. To become fit, then run a marathon, you're required to devote a lot of time running. If you don't have interest or the time to dedicate lots of hours every week to running, this goal may possibly not work out for you. If you realize this as the situation, you could modify your goals. There are other methods to become fit that do not entail devoting hours and hours running. If you wish to start your personal independent bookstore, but you possess no skill managing a business, have no money to put towards starting the business, and you have no understanding regarding how bookstores work, or you're actually not interested in reading, you may perhaps not be successful in realizing your goals. 4. Set priorities. At any given moment, you have a number of goals all in different states of completion. Determining which goals are more significant or time-receptive than others is very vital. If you find yourself with lots of goals, you're going to feel stunned and are less likely to realize them. It may possibly assist in choosing a few top priorities. This will offer you concentration when contradictory goals arise. If it's a choosing between finalizing one or two slight goals and finalizing one top priority, you understand to pick the top priority. If you're thriving towards becoming fit and you have set the lesser goals to run a 5K, to eat more healthily, and to swim 1 mile thrice per week, you may perhaps find that you really don't have the time or strength to do all of those things at a go. You can highlight. If you wish to run a marathon, first running a 5K may perhaps be more vital to your goal than swimming each week. You may possibly wish to continue eating well because that is right for your general health, along with helping you run. If you're thriving towards creating your own bookstore, you may possibly need to acquire a business license and be sure you can meet the criteria for a business loan, if you're in need of one, before you start picking particular books to convey in your store. 5. Keep track of your growth. Jotting down in a journal is a remarkable way to keep track of both professional and personal growth. Checking in with yourself and recognizing the progress built towards a particular goal is crucial to staying inspired. It might even hearten you to work harder. Requesting a friend to keep you on track can assist you in staying focused. For instance, if you're preparing for the big race, having a friend to often team up with and exercise with can keep you on track with your improvement. If you are growing fit by driving towards a marathon, having a running journal in which you note down how far you ran, the total amount of time it took, and the way you felt. As you develop more and more, it can be a huge confidence enhancement to go back and see how far you've come since you began. It may, perhaps, be a little more challenging to track your growth towards starting your own business, but jotting down each and every one of your goals and sub-goals, then striking them out or specifying when each one is fulfilled can assist you in tracking the work that you've done. 6. Evaluate your goals. Recognize when you have achieved goals and permit yourself to celebrate consequently. Use this time to evaluate the goal process, from setting up to finishing point. Consider if you were pleased with the time frame, your skill set, or if the goal was rational. For instance, as soon as you have run your first 5K, be appreciative that you've accomplished a goal, even if it looks like a small one in contrast with your greater goal of running a marathon. Obviously, when you open the doors of your self-regulating bookstore and you earn your first sale to a customer, you'll rejoice, realizing that you have worked towards your goal effectively. 7. Continue setting goals. As soon as you have realized goals, even most important life goals, you will want to keep on growing and setting fresh goals for yourself. After running your marathon, you have to evaluate what you'd like to do afterward. Do you wish to run an extra marathon, but expand your time? Do you wish to expand and undertake an Ironman or a triathlon race? Or do you wish to return to running shorter distance races? If you have launched your private bookstore, do you wish to work on executing community events, such as literacy tutoring or book clubs? Or do you wish to earn more money? Would you love to open extra locations or grow by adding a coffee shop inside or around the corner to your bookstore? Chapter 8. Achieving Goals. Each and every one of us has dreams. Whether they are huge or trivial, they have great importance in our lives. Realizing these goals is interconnected to our joy and comfort. It is a method to build up self-esteem. The manner of struggling for our goals can as well assist us grow into better people. Therefore, whether your goal is to make $1 million, be a world-class athlete, or become an artist, don't stop. Begin working toward your goal now. Handling the journey. 1. Recognize false hope syndrome. This is perhaps already common to you if you've ever established a New Year's resolution. Psychologists describe this syndrome in 3 parts that make up a cycle. 1. Setting the goal. 2. Feeling amazed by its adversity. And 3. Renouncing the goal. False hope syndrome regularly happens when you anticipate instant results from your actions. For example, you may possibly set a goal of become more bodily fit, and then get discouraged when you've been working out for 2 weeks without noticeable changes. Setting up pure stages and timeframes can assist in combating unrealistic expectations. This syndrome can as well occur when the primary rush of the goal wears off. For instance, The goal, learn how to play the guitar, is certainly stimulating for a little while as you acquire a new instrument, become skilled at a few chords, etc. On the other hand, when the real work of everyday practice, calluses, and chord advancement sets in, you may possibly lose momentum. Setting lesser goals and celebrating little successes can assist you in keeping your momentum going. 2. See challenges as learning experiences. Quite a lot of studies have revealed that people who treat obstacles as learning experiences are more likely to feel positive regarding their ability to realize their goals. If you see obstacles, challenges, or even your own faults as failures and beat yourself up for them, you'll be concentrating on the past instead of looking toward the future. Study has revealed that people who realize their goals don't always have lesser obstacles than people who renounce their goals. The difference is in how you visualize the obstacles. Can you learn from what went wrong to do something differently next time? The desire for perfectionism can as well hold you back from accepting mistakes as bases of growth. When you hold yourself to unviable standards of performance, you're really more likely to feel like your goals can't be realized. Instead, be considerate with yourself. Remind yourself that you are a person and that everyone makes mistakes and encounters challenges. Findings have revealed that positive thinking is effective at aiding you learn and adapt rather than concentrating on your mistakes or imperfections. Next time you notice yourself hitting yourself up over an alleged failure, remind yourself that you can pick up from every single experience, no matter how horrible it is in the moment. 3. Acknowledge every victory. So much of realizing goals is a matter of awareness. Celebrate little wins. If your goal is to attain straight A's and you do fine in an exam, celebrate it. If your main goal is to become a lawyer, celebrate each and every loop you successfully hop through, such as doing well in a course of study, getting into law school, passing the bar, and finally, securing a job. Celebrate achievements or benchmarks. One or two goals will take years, if not longer, to realize. Identify and celebrate the amount of time that you've used doing something. Preparation takes lots of time and determination. Appreciate and be proud of the total amount of time you've put into something. Celebrate the lesser accomplishments as well. For instance, if your main goal is eat healthier, and you're really able to say no thanks to that fatty but appealing slice of pizza, tap yourself on the back for your strength of will. 4. Stay passionate. Whatever your goal is, it is a goal for a purpose. It is something that you want for yourself in the future. Let that passion and drive show. Reminding yourself about what you are working towards can help you get through momentary difficulty or unpleasantness. Sometimes, the best destinations force you to take the roughest trails. 5. Revise your goals if necessary. Life is packed with lemons that don't make very wonderful lemonade. Sometimes, unforeseen things happen that will affect your plans. Don't be scared to recalibrate. Consider new plans. Set fresh goals. And in some occasions, cast off old goals that you may perhaps not care about anymore. Setbacks are normal. They shouldn't automatically deter you from your ultimate goals. Recognize why you are facing a setback. Is it something you have power over or not? Progress accordingly. Think about new opportunities. Some of the wonderful things in life aren't prepared for. Say yes to new opportunities if they assist in furthering your own goals or offer new, better goals. 6. Persevere. Keep track of the little successes you realize. Accomplishing these lesser tasks will assist you in building your self-confidence because you'll understand that you're capable of accomplishing things you lay out to do. Remind yourself of your past accomplishments when you notice yourself struggling. Recall that delays don't mean failure. Author J.K. Rowling's novels of Harry Potter were turned down 12 times in a row before a publisher settled to take a chance on them. Inventor Thomas Edison's school teachers told him he was too stupid to learn anything. Oprah was fired from her first television job and told she was, quote, unfit for TV. At times, it's that negative feedback from other people that fuels our effort to be successful at our goals and visions. Chapter 9. Creating an effective action plan. Creating a powerful action plan regularly starts with having a perfect purpose, vision, or goal in mind. It is planned to take you from wherever you are at the moment directly to the achievement of your detailed goal. With a well-proposed plan, you can accomplish almost any goal you set out to achieve. Creating your plan. Keep a record of everything. As you work over your action plan, take notes of everything. You may find it advantageous to have a folder with different tabs in it to section off different features of your planning procedure. Some examples of sections: daily schedules, ideas or miscellaneous notes, monthly schedules, research, milestones, individuals involved or contacts, follow-up. Understand what you want to do? The less clear you are regarding what you want to do, the less operational your plan will be. Strive to distinctively define what you want to accomplish as early as possible, if possible, before beginning your project. Be precise and accurate in your planning. Having a detailed goal is just the start. You have to be precise and accurate in every part of your project. For instance, by stating precise and attainable milestones, schedules, and final outcomes. Being precise and accurate while planning a long project is all about proactively reducing stress that can accompany poorly planned projects such as missed deadlines and consuming long hours. Set considerable milestones. Milestones mark major stages along the road to realizing your end goal. Build milestones easily by starting off at the end, the achievement of the goal, and working your way in reverse to your current day and situations. Having milestones can assist you, and if appropriate your team, stay inspired by breaking the work into smaller pieces and concrete goals so that you don't have to wait till the project is absolutely completed to feel as though you've achieved something. Don't leave lots of time or too little time between milestones. Placing them 2 weeks apart has been found to be operational. Break large tasks into smaller, handier chunks. Some milestones or tasks may look more overwhelming to accomplish than others. If you're feeling exhausted by a huge task, you can help relieve your anxiety and make it feel more workable by breaking it down into smaller, more practicable chunks. Make scheduled lists. Create a list of tasks that you have to get done so as to hit your milestones. A list on its own will not be operational. You must write down this list into a timeline linked with specific, practical actions. Put timelines on everything. Without certain timeframes and targets, work will certainly expand to fill the time assigned, and certain tasks may never get done. Regardless of what action items you select for which stage of your action plan, it is crucial that a time frame be involved to complete everything. Build a visual representation. Once you've listed your action items and set a specific timeline, the next step is to create some type of visual representation of your plan. You may possibly make use of a Gantt chart, a flow chart, a spreadsheet, or some other type of business tool to achieve this. Save this visual representation in an easily reachable position, even on a wall study room or in your office if possible. Regulate things as you go. Regulating things as you go will not only feel fulfilling, it will assist you in keeping on track lest you forget what you've already done. This is mostly vital if you're working with other people. If you're working alongside other people, you might consider making use of a shared online document so that everyone can check in no matter where they are. Don't stop till you've gotten to your final goal. As soon as your plan is founded and shared with the team if applicable, and your milestones are planned, the next step is very simple. Take everyday actions to accomplish your goal. Change the date if you have to, but never lose hope on your goal. Rarely, situations or unexpected occasions can occur that throw a wrench in your power to meet targets, finish tasks, and accomplish your goal. If this takes place, do not become discouraged. Go over your plan and keep working to meet targets and move forward. Handling your time. Get yourself a great planner. Whether this is a book or an app, you'll need a planner that will give you the opportunity to plan out your time by the hour every day of the week. Be sure it's very easy to read and very easy to use, or else you'll likely not utilize it. Studies have revealed that physically jotting things down, i.e. with paper and pen, will make you more likely to carry them out. Therefore, you may be best off making use of a physical planner to plan your time out. Avoid to-do lists. So you have a lengthy list of things to get done, but when will you actually get them done? To-do lists are not as operative as planning out your tasks. When you plan your tasks, you create the time to complete them. When you have exact time blocks in which to work, several day planners factually include hourly time blocks, you'll likewise see that you're less likely to defer, as you only have a fixed time in which to finish your work prior to moving on to the next planned task. Study how to time block. Blocking out your time assists you in getting a more practical idea of how much time you really have during the day. Begin with your highest priority tasks and work in reverse. Do this for your entire week. Holding a broader view of the ways your days will add up will assist you in refining your schedule to be as creative as possible. Some experts even propose having at least an overall idea of what your entire month will seem like. Schedule time for relaxation and breaks. Studies have revealed that scheduling even your leisure time can assist in increasing your fulfillment with life. It has likewise been established that long work hours actually make you less creative. Sleep deprivation will kill your creativity. Ensure that you sleep at least 7 hours each night if you're an adult, or 8.5 hours a night if you're a teenager. Studies indicating that scheduling minor strategic restorations, i.e. exercises, short naps, stretching, meditation, into your day will increase your creativity and general health. Set aside time to design your week out. Several experts recommend scheduling time right at the beginning of your week to sit and design your week. Figure out the way you can best make use of each day to work toward accomplishing your goals. Justify any work or social responsibilities you have. If you discover your schedule is close-fitting, you may possibly need to drop some of your lesser importance plans. This doesn't mean abandoning social events. It's very vital to carry on with your good friends and to cultivate your close relationships. You need a support network. Understand that every day does not have to look exactly the same. You can split tasks into just 1 or 2 days per week. Sometimes it's even beneficial to split tasks as you can go back to them with a fresh perception. Schedule for difficulties. Create a small part of extra time into every single block that will justify a slow workday or an unexpected disruption. A terrific rule of thumb is to offer yourself double the time you envisage a task to take, especially when you're just beginning. As you turn out to be more contented with your tasks, or if you already have a clear sense of how long something will hold, you can cut down your time, but it's always a very good idea to leave in at least a small barrier. Be open and gentle with yourself. Particularly as you're starting off, be ready to tweak your schedule as you go. It's part of the learning process. You may possibly find it beneficial to block your time out in outline. You may as well find it beneficial to spend a week or two writing down what you do every day into a planner as you move. This will assist you in getting a sense of how you use your time and how much time every single task takes. Disconnect. Fix times in your day where you're going to check your social media or emails. Be strict with yourself, as it's possible to lose hours just checking in every few minutes here and there. This comprises switching your phone off if possible, at least for times where you actually want to concentrate on work. Do less. This correlates with disconnecting. Understand the most vital things in your day, the ones that will assist you in achieving your goals, and concentrate on those. Deprioritize the less vital things that divide your day, emails, boring paperwork, etc. If you know you have lots of small tasks to see to, for instance paperwork, email, neatening your office, assemble them together into a portion of time in your schedule instead of allowing them to divide your day or break the movement of other more vital tasks that may possibly require more attentiveness. Staying motivated. Be positive. Staying positive is essential to accomplishing your goals. Rely on yourself and the people surrounding you. Counter any pessimistic self-talk with optimistic confirmations. Besides being optimistic, you will profit from surrounding yourself with optimistic people. Research has revealed that over time, you take on the habits of those with whom you spend most of your time, so choose your company intelligently. Compensate yourself. This is mostly vital to do every time you hit a milestone. Offer yourself noticeable rewards. For instance, a lovely dinner at your much-loved restaurant when you reach your first 2-week milestone, or a back massage for your 2-month milestone. Get a support network. It's very vital to have your friends and family on your side. It's also important to build connections with people who have similar goals to you. That way, you can sign in with each other. Track your progress. Research has revealed that progress is the highest motivator. You can track your progress merely by ticking off tasks in your schedule as you move. Go to bed early and be on your feet early. When you go through the schedules of highly creative people, a great part of them begin their days early. These people likewise have a morning practice. Often, this is something they can look ahead to carrying out before they go to work. Certain ways to start the morning are to do some kind of workout, from yoga and light stretching to about an hour at the gym, have a healthy breakfast, and spend 25 to 35 minutes writing in a diary or journal. Offer yourself idle time. Taking breaks is vital to staying inspired. If you are always working, you'll end up wearying yourself. Taking breaks is an active way to prevent yourself from getting exhausted and losing time that you don't want to lose. Visualize. Take some minutes now and then to reflect on your goal and the way it will feel to have accomplished it. This will assist you in getting through the difficult times that may go together with pursuing your goal. Understand that it won't be easy. Things that are worth having are hardly easy to acquire. You may have to solve lots of issues or work through a few things as you move toward your goal. Take them as they turn up. Identifying your goals. Write on what you want. Do this in a text document or a journal. This is mostly beneficial if you're not completely sure what you wish to do, but just have a feeling concerning it. Writing frequently in a journal is a wonderful way to be in contact with yourself and to keep up to date on the way you're feeling. Several people claim that writing assists them in clarifying the way they feel and what they want. Do your research. As soon as you have a picture of what you want to do, try and do your research. Researching your goals will assist you in narrowing down the best way to accomplish them. Online forums like Reddit are a great place to look for discussion on most topics, especially if you want an insider's view on precise careers. Reflect on your options and select the one that best serves you. After you've carried out your research, you'll have a better sense of what every single path and outcome will look like. This would make it easier for you to take the path that will best serve you in accomplishing your goal. Be aware of things correlated with your goal that may possibly affect you. This involves being aware of things that may possibly hold you back in your goals. Be flexible. Your goals may possibly change as you progress toward them. Grant room for yourself, and as a result, your goals to grow. That said, don't just lose hope when it gets difficult. There's a great difference between losing interest and losing hope. Chapter 10. Don't generalize, don't stereotype. Blueprint from the bottom up. We live in a world that often creates structures and systems capable of fitting talent in. This approach serves its purpose by allowing human beings to operate in a very coordinated way. A top-down focus on talent employment can strengthen our everyday systems and boost productivity in some instances. If too much emphasis is placed on getting individuals to fit into roles without considering their inclinations, the coordination process may turn out to be more harmful than helpful. For instance, many schools have created structures to administer a common curriculum to students and then use standardized testing to determine if students have received the education that was intended. Often, enough consideration is not placed on the interest of individual students that are from different backgrounds and who have different inclinations. When a child is forced to conform and fit into existing structures, the child may become disengaged and, in the more extreme cases, even disruptive. A bottom-up approach in this situation would involve close observation by allowing the child to operate in a natural domain. The information from this discovery process could be used to define and improve the natural capabilities of the child. These capabilities could be applied in meaningful ways to reinforce engagement and to perform work. In the short term, this process may be more time-consuming and difficult than what is practiced by schools that are primarily focused on preparing students for standardized testing. However, in the long term, this bottom-up approach may prove to facilitate continuous development and an efficient route to personal fulfillment. This kind of approach is more of an architectural and engineering method, and when applied to talent development, we may refer to this method as talent blueprinting. Please see Figure 3, Talent Blueprinting, on page 69 of the text, which describes the overall flow of talent from the bottom up, starting with talent discovery, the null talent hypothesis, all the way up to talent retrieval and alignment with work to be done. Again, you will find this graph on page 69 of the text. Due to the complexity of talents, more emphasis must be placed on observing individuals with a keen intention to identify special skills and aptitudes. By devoting sufficient attention, we could match these skills and aptitudes to relevant macro skills and aptitudes that may be developed with proper coaching and mentoring. The talent blueprinting approach, as depicted in Figure 3, is extremely useful in optimizing individual performance. Where a top-down approach seeks to optimize system performance, the bottom-up approach is more likely to optimize personal performance. What is very important is that there is proper alignment between the natural skills and aptitude and the work to be executed. Generally speaking, true work is application of self. Talent blueprinting begins with the talent discovery process. At this stage, much effort must be placed in obtaining as much information as possible as an individual operates in a natural environment that is void of coercion or obstruction. Information may be obtained by keen observation and by questioning the individual, where applicable, about experiences and emotions when performing certain tasks. The individual may be exposed to a wide range of activities over time in order to provide ample opportunity for various inclinations to be exposed. This process may include primary information via introspection may be delayed, secondary information via direct observation, and tertiary information via non-introspective, delayed accounts. The activities may be observed at different time periods and with tweaks in the conditions to expand the range of observable patterns. The relevant benchmarking to other individuals performing similar activities under similar conditions may be used to derive insight. Keen notes must be taken to record the most natural inclinations of the individual while performing the different activities. In the talent discovery process, careful attention must be devoted to different emotions and personality-related behaviors. These attributes may be indicative of supertalents that are described later in this book. Note that talent discovery stands very early in the process of talent development and represents the forming of a null talent hypothesis, NTH. In this context, the hypothesis is a partially informed conjecture that serves as a very useful starting point for further investigations. This talent discovery process feeds into the talent definition stage. Talent definition is simply where the null talent hypothesis is subjected to testing and refinement, and available data are used to reject or validate the findings of the talent discovery process. When the notable talents are identified, talent hierarchy snapshot and root talent development curves, explained previously, are established for the individual. Links are identified between the different root talents and various macro talent forms. During this process, emphasis is laid on the levels of intensity and precision observed at different points of the talent spectrum. For instance, a scoring system between 1 and 10 may be applied to score the talent precision and talent intensity. In the definition stage, note is also made of the manner in which the individual switches between different skill sets and blends the different root and macro talents. After the initial records are taken, the talent definition may be recursively refined until the talent definition reaches a satisfactory level of detail or perceived accuracy. Once the talent definition is completed, talent development may be pursued. This is the stage at which education and skills development activities may be applied to draw out the best that is in the individual. Therefore, the talent development process should employ multiple stimulation channels. For instance, in improving the performance of a race car driver, a mix of structured and unstructured training routines may be employed to sharpen eye positioning, hand positioning, cornering skills, braking skills, etc. Repetition may be useful at this stage as the individual seeks to obtain some degree of mastery in executing each task. The individual would benefit tremendously from appropriate step-by-step coaching or from high-level mentorship, see chapter on talent farming. One very important aspect of coaching, this could be self-coaching, is in pushing the talent to the limit. Often, individuals hold back and are never aware of the absolute limit of their talents. Operating in an environment where the talent is pushed to the limit is very beneficial, and under extreme conditions, the talented individual reaches new heights. Therefore, an environment of conservatism and laziness will only result in mediocre talent discovery and development. The magic of talent is where the talent is put to work as a form of kinetic energy. Talent that is properly defined and well developed should serve well when applied in the work process. Moreover, exposure to work should be done at both the talent definition and talent development stages. However, as the talent is better understood and properly developed, application to work will be more meaningful. Good talent application should result in a good amount of distance being covered when some effort is applied. In other words, proper talent-work alignment should yield a certain level of work efficiency. It would be very useful if coaching is present with live feedback to guide the talents to optimal performance. Again, a talent will not reach its optimal level if a certain amount of effort and persistence is not applied to ensure that the talent reaches peak performance. Chapter 11. Talent Farming, Key to Building an Effective Support System. Coaches, mentors, formal and informal education all serve to do the same thing. Their chief role is to prepare talents to fit into the society and to make a contribution. These inputs are all a very important part of the talent awakening equation. They each serve the talent awakening process in a different way, in that one individual or institution may wear more than one of these hats, but each functions as a very important ingredient. Although there is definitely a role for an external objective player in carrying out these responsibilities, an individual may even be his or her own coach or mentor or self-educator. Figure 4, please see it on page 73 of the text, shows how different components come together in the talent development process. For purpose of illustration in this chapter, we will refer to the talent awakening process as talent farming. On page 73 of the text, you will see Figure 4, the talent development process interaction, which basically is a circle with different pictures that go in a circle, starting with a farmer with a hoe, going to a plant coming up, the clouds in the sky, the sun, and other items involved in growing. Again, for a complete picture, please see page 73 of the paper text. The seeds of the plant are the root talents and macro talents that existed at birth. These seeds contain the genetic coding that resulted from the fusion of egg and sperm at a specific point in time. Furthermore, this seed generation process is a very complex process, and it is very difficult at the start of a new life to perfectly identify all the seeds and sub-elements of the seeds, or to understand the full nature and attributes associated with each seed. The soil is the environment within which the seed is embedded, and it is very important that this soil provides the requisite nourishment for the seed in its quest to become a useful plant. In addition, the soil must be regularly tested to ensure that it has the properties desirable to facilitate the best possible outcome. In other words, a toxic soil is analogous to a toxic environment that destroys the growth of anything. Air, sunlight, water, and other nourishment, such as fertilizers, represent the vital ingredients that are necessary for proper plant survival and development. These ingredients are analogous to information, education, and exposure that are required for talents to truly bloom and manifest into potential aligned results, PAR. These ingredients will be wasted if applied in a random and carefree way. To worsen the situation, they may even be deleterious to the plant if improperly administered. Generally speaking, the parents are the first beings to come into contact with the talent. They are usually the first real interaction point for the new seeds that have been planted. They are the caretakers on the farm that protect the early days of the process. The role as the caretaker is extremely important, as they are usually the first to identify the nature of the seeds and observe early patterns. The caretakers may hold a different position later in the process, or they may not. Some caretakers may end up being coaches and mentors, while some may end up being a distraction to the talent awakening process, or at worst, help to destroy the talents. The coach is the farmer, a micromanager. The farmer interacts more frequently with the plants and observes subtle changes and responses to conditions over time. Like the care of a mother to her child, the coach pays very close attention to the talent and offers instructions, opinions, and feedback that help to ensure that the talent continues to grow in a healthy and efficient way. Therefore, Coaching involves close observation tactics, where coaches try to discover new root talents, in the same way that the farmer identifies new seedlings and new properties of existing parts of the plant that may be employed in facilitating further growth. The farmer may even find it fit to transplant the plant when there are exposures in the atmosphere, such as climate change and diseases that may threaten the survival of the plant. The farmer may decide to change the soil or prescribe new nutrients and changes in techniques that will facilitate improvements, usually through careful hypothesis testing. Likewise, the farmer is also the chief micro-performance manager who observes performances and collates performance information for future analyses. The farmer never stops thinking about the plant, but is always enthusiastically and passionately looking for new ways to bring it closer to a fully grown tree that will bear the right fruits. That fruit is the purpose of the plant. If the coach is the farmer and chief operations manager, the mentor is the non-executive member on the board of directors. The mentor provides macro support to the process and ensures that all the ingredients are in place for the talent farming process to work. Mentoring does not have to occur at the highest frequency, for example daily, but the presence needs to be felt throughout the talent development process. The mentor is a very intimate sounding board for the plant and broader process. He or she does not choke the process nor dictate all the microelements, but plays a very important role in planning, guiding the farming process, and ensuring that there is unity of direction, honesty, and accountability in the process. Keys to building an effective talent pool in an organization. Prioritizing talent management and investing time in building your talent pool is very important to success for your organization. Taking a proactive stance regarding talent management includes building a talent pool from which to draw for all positions within your organization. This necessitates accurate forecasting, along with strong acquisition practices to keep your talent pool stocked with highly qualified candidates. How can talent managers stay on top of current needs, forecast future needs, and effectively build their talent pool? Listed below are some strategies to help you get started. Embrace a talent mindset. Better talent management is achieved when leaders and managers at all levels embrace a talent mindset. A talent mindset is a deep-seated belief that having better talent at all levels allows your company to beat its competitors. It's the acknowledgement that better talent pulls all the other routine levers. These beliefs provide leaders the willpower to strengthen their talent pool and the courage to take brave actions to do so. Organizations having a strong talent mindset expect and encourage all employees to become recruiters. They create environments which foster innovation, engage in meaningful career discussions with potential candidates and internal candidates looking to advance, and have mechanisms in place to facilitate feedback and open communication. Create a process for continual assessment of current talent needs as well as forecasting for future needs. Talent forecasting is a process during which organizations consider different variables that affect the future supply and demand for talent, such as strategic plans, e.g., expansion into new geographical regions or new product lines, and limitations on access to qualified talent, e.g., number of engineers graduating annually. Talent forecasting is much more than a simple headcount analysis. Leveraging available technologies by means of a robust talent management system is helpful in this area. With real-time analytic capability and a centralized database, talent management systems help you continually assess organizational needs and compare those needs with available applicants. Talent management systems also facilitate open communication and collaboration between all parties involved in recruitment and talent acquisition across your entire organization. This affords organizations a significant advantage in building and maintaining an effective talent pool. Leveraging the power of social media to build your talent pool. If you are not currently actively using social media to attract and retain top talent, you are missing out on a golden opportunity. Social media networks like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn have proven to be fantastic mediums to target candidates, engage them, and inform them of opportunities. 92% of companies use social media networks for recruitment purposes, and the effects of social recruitment have proven to be beneficial. 42% of those companies say that the quality of their candidates has improved using social recruiting techniques. These channels are also very effective in getting the brand and culture in front of applicants, displeasing interest, and therefore developing talent pools. Network internally and externally. An effective talent pool includes talent from both inside and outside your organization. It is essential to develop talent internal to your organization. Here, too, having a talent mindset will enable managers at all levels to appropriately identify those employees with real potential for career growth and development. Once identified, these employees will be part of your talent pool to be maintained and nurtured for advancement. Building an effective talent pool involves networking with current applicants, past applicants, and internal candidates. To build a talent pool from external sources, it is important to network with current applicants as well as past candidates. In many cases, a candidate who did not exactly match a previous position for which he or she applied may, in fact, be a perfect match for a current or future position with your organization. Maintaining steady communication with internal and external talent will build your talent pool and ensure that, when the time comes to fill a position, you will be able to reach out to candidates with whom you have developed a relationship in the past. Maintaining such a relationship is made considerably easier by having a talent management system in place. Good talent management systems enable communication with your talent pool, even automating portions of the communication process for you. Talent management is an essential skill set which enables your organization to maintain a competitive edge. Building an effective talent pool is a large part of the talent management process. To build your talent pool, you must embrace a talent mindset, create a feasible forecasting process, leverage the power of social media, and network both internally and externally. Chapter 12. Purpose-Driven Mindset, Immunity to Mass Opinions and Negative Impulses. From birth, we have faced a conflict that has determined the structure of our lives and whether we live a life of truth or a life of conformity. It is the conflict between our natural judgment and mass opinion and negative impulses. The existence of these conflicting forces highlights the importance of a purpose-driven mindset. Science has hypothesized that we think thousands of thoughts per minute. Our mindset is our ability to filter these thoughts and to focus more on the progressive thoughts that assist our cause than those non-progressive thoughts that serve as obstacles. The purpose-driven mindset creates a state of consciousness that allows us to access our talents. This mindset comes from having a sense of purpose and understanding and deeply emotionalizing the urgency and need to obtain this purpose. On the journey to unravel the gift of talent, the purpose-driven mindset is that absolute necessary power that enables us to filter our thoughts and apply the right attitudes to get the most out of our inclination instead of giving in to mass opinion and negative impulses. Hence, it is a purpose-driven mindset that allows us to operate with our natural judgment, which is the compass that was granted to us by the universe. It is a feeling from the gut, a natural vibration. It is a complex combination of signals and alerts that guide us at both the conscious and subconscious level. Like the theoretical decision tree, we were each born with the natural ability to decide and act. For simplicity, we will adopt the following three-step process that describes this ability. 1. An ability to reduce circumstances to actionable decisions, decision definition phase of the process. 2. An ability to weigh the available options and select the option that is most appropriate, choice phase of the process. 3. The ability to act on the decisions we have made, execution stage of the process. The phases occur in sequence. The decision definition phase has to be completed before the choice phase can be accessed. Likewise, the choice phase must be completed before the execution phase can be accessed. Different individuals may have a greater capacity to reduce circumstances to structured choices, or to make optimal decisions in situations of different degrees of complexity, or to act on the decisions that have been made. Individuals also differ on the speed with which they complete this process. These abilities may be shaped by educational exposure and life experiences. Where decisions and actions are concerned, each individual will face a competition between their natural inclinations and the forces of society. The Decision Action Matrix, DAM, below summarizes the points above. To view the Decision Action Matrix, please see page 82 of the text. The Decision Action Matrix is a chart or grid of 3 lines in 2 columns Column 1 is mass opinion and negative impulses, and column 2 is natural judgment. On line 1, decision definition, column 1, level 1, impeded imagination, column 2, natural judgment, level 2, universal options. On line 2, you have choice. Column 1, mass opinion and negative impulses, level 3, fear and doubt paralysis. Column 2, under natural judgment, we have level 4, unlocked possibility. On line 3 of the chart, execution. Below mass opinion and negative impulses, we have level 5, missed opportunity, and in column 2, under natural judgment, level 6, potential aligned result, PAR. At the first level of achievement, mass opinion prevents us from considering the universal set of possibilities when we are reducing a circumstance to a decision to be made. In this case, our imagination is impeded, and we may even miss out on structuring the decision that needs to be made. For instance, if a potential author is considering writing a book, but anticipates that her closest friends and family members may doubt whether she has the ability to write her own book, she will not even be able to make a decision about the topic. She will have to overcome the fear of criticism in order to open the way to the universal options available to her in the form of many potentially gripping topics. When natural judgment prevails at the decision definition stage, then the author would be at the second level. At this level, she is now in pole position to move on to the third level, where she will actually be able to choose a suitable topic. If the fear or doubt around making the wrong choice is paralyzing at this point, she will not be able to conclusively decide on a topic, and she would have terminated the process at level 3. If the author overcomes the fear and doubt, then she will accomplish the fourth level of accomplishment. At level 4, a topic is chosen, and there are very little lingering doubts. At this point, the possibilities relating to the creation of the meaningful material will be unlocked. If there are concerns that prevent the author from writing after the topic has been selected, then the author would have terminated the process at level 5. At this point, mass opinion gets in the way, a lack of confidence sets in, and there are latent emotions that result in inertia and procrastination. The book will not be prioritized, and the burning desire to execute will be lacking. What drives this outcome are thoughts in the back of the author's mind that the book will not be that important, and that the society has already created many books of that nature, or that there are more important things to do at that point in time until she is actually ready to write. Often, the activities that are perceived to be more important are maintenance tasks that only serve to preserve the status quo. There is a sense of urgency and importance that comes with the sixth level of accomplishment. In the usually rare cases where natural judgment overcomes mass opinion at the execution level, a great momentum would have to be created to conquer all the doubts and fear that are driven by mass opinion and the psychological doubts and inertia that are usually associated by the systemic exposure to these opinions over time. Level 6 is the stage at which the purpose-driven mindset takes charge, purposeful action is taken, and the author writes from the soul without any inhibition. At this point, the author gets to the point of truly expressing her views on the topic that was selected. This expression calls on the author's physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual faculties. The most important thing is not that the author becomes the best among all authors, but that there is no disturbance from outside forces. If this becomes the normal experience, then only time can prevent her from being the best author she could possibly be. There are countless cases of people on their deathbed who have expressed that their biggest regrets in life are the things they know they should have done but never got the chance to do. Note that in these cases, we are not even referring to mastery of a specific ability, but simply the act of doing the things that we should have done. Often, the greatest inhibition to doing the things we truly want to do and to being the person we know we ought to be is the mass opinion and negative impulse trap. Therefore, general opinions, particularly held by those we love, trust, and respect, will increase the cost of following your own directions and getting it all wrong. We usually filter what we want to say in fear of offending others. We usually temper what we want to do in order to conform to the expectations of others. We usually do not make the sacrifices that are required to pursue our real dreams because we fear all the bad things that might happen, and even more so, the criticisms that might follow. The truth is, though, that at the end of our journey, we will be held accountable for all that we did or did not do. We will be held accountable for what we were and what we were not, and at that point, nobody else will share the cost or the reward. While the mass opinion trap is a very powerful force, it is something we must overcome if our natural judgment is to be preserved. We should be able to live by our decisions and die with very little regret, knowing very well that we lived on our own terms, knowing fully well that our lives reflect what we stood for and the purpose we were created for. It is easier to access our greatest talents if we are very open with ourselves. Also, it is easy to access all the powers the universe has granted if we are very honest about who we are as entities in the universal system. Truth be told, it is better to run the risk of never being loved or accepted by society than to run the risk of never serving a real purpose. A purpose-driven mindset helps the talented individual to focus on the thing that matters most, thereby serving a purpose. Chapter 13. Confidence, Drive, and the Family of Super Talents That Push You. In earlier discussions, we mentioned the concept of super talents. In this book, we have explained the idea of micro or root talents and macro talents that reflect combinations of these root talents. Super talents may be either root talents or macro talents that appear to exist in top performance across different fields. Some root and macro talents are uniquely required in specific sports, business, or other applications. We consider these talents to be specific talents. Some talents, however, are required to boost performance in all endeavors. These talents are recognized as super talents. Super talents may be grouped into 4 major categories: the family of super talents that push you, the family of super talents that pull you, the family of super talents that direct you, and the family of super talents that keep you on course. The super talents that push you. There are energy forces that push talented individuals to keep moving towards accomplishing objectives. Some researchers theorize that these forces are metaphysical influences that are related to universal laws. Without going into many details, we will assume that these forces do exist and are revealed in various forms. Besides, we will assume that the vibrations from these forces manifest in super talents that trigger human work through thought energy and physical activity. The super talents that come into play are some of the clearest indications of the existence of the powerful forces accessible in the universe. Inclinations such as confidence and drive are good examples of the super talents that push us, as they are very observable. For instance, Muhammad Ali was an extremely skillful boxer. However, Ali was clearly much more than a boxing technician that was contented to win a few titles. He was the epitome of confidence to the point where many persons thought he possessed superhuman capabilities. His drive to be the best was exceptional and set him apart from many of his peers. Confidence is, indeed, a super talent. According to Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he said, and I quote, "Without confidence, you are twice defeated before the race." Confidence is often the difference between excellence and mediocrity. Like any other talent, confidence may be nurtured and improved when the appropriate stimuli is applied in the right conditions. Like all other talents, each human being comes with a certain predisposition that may be strongly influenced with early culturing. The wiring to believe in one's own abilities may be enhanced with a worldview that places the individual in a position of prominence. Repeated encouragement and connecting the performance of the individual with greater forces will eventually help to create a state of confidence. The ability to perform well on specified activities will usually help to feed this confidence. At the higher end of the confidence development curve, the individual may experience a supreme confidence that pushes performance to high levels, even in the face of the most intense competition. We will refer to this special state as supreme unconditional confidence, which many individuals may go through life without experiencing. However, when they find this confidence, they know. Individuals who live through harsh and competitive conditions early in life may be compelled to find this state as a matter of survival. At this state, confidence is not a frequently changing state of mind or emotion that may be turned on or off in different situations, but a consistent state that yields a spirit that never really wavers in magnitude. Where does supreme unconditional confidence come from? Well, it comes from a belief that the universe is one integrated system with connected parts. There is a reason for every single one of us, and that is why we exist. That is why we are each blessed with a unique combination of aptitudes and skills and inclination in root form. These root talents can roll up into bigger or macro talents and abilities that allow us to serve our unique purpose. Sincerely speaking, individuals, institutions, and experiences cannot give us talents. Rather, they help to develop talents. Information is not the same as inclination, and this means that the accumulation of knowledge is simply data that helps to furnish our inclinations and root talents with additional ammunition. For each of us, confidence is our claim for our share of existence. It is a statement that says, I belong, you belong, we all belong, but we are all independently plugged into the same universe that holds unlimited power. Therefore, if we have limitations, these limits are determined by the universe and not by any other individual. And once a pure connection is made to this universal energy, supreme unconditional confidence is automatic. This is the maximum point on our confidence development curve, and it gives us the right to effortlessly extract the powers from within to express and never impress. We either believe in this right to be or we do not. We either exist by this principle or we do not. Doubt, on the other hand, resides at the lower end of the confidence competency curve. When we are supremely confident, the level of belief and drive suppresses fear of criticism, fear of competition, fear of failure, and even fear of success. In the ideal case, all stakeholders in the talent farming process will possess this type of confidence, and a culture of confidence will exist. Supreme, unconditional confidence drives individuals throughout the levels in the decision action matrix to the potential aligned result, PAR. It is the ultimate enabler that allows an individual to power through all the doubt and fear. Please see page 90 for Figure 5, the purpose-driven chart, which demonstrates the distance between supreme unconditional confidence and the talent that is concomitant with it, and precise purpose and potential aligned results, PAR. And of course the path to obtaining purpose, which runs between them. Again, you can see this chart on page 90 of the text. Where does drive fit in? In Figure 5, which you can see on page 90 of the text, drive does not exist in isolation but is dependent on confidence and clarity of purpose. Once a sufficient level of confidence is attained, there is a certain universal energy that pushes us towards fulfillment. This energy motion forces us to take the next step in search of our precise purpose, or at least nudges us to complete subtasks that we must do in order to move toward our precise purpose in life. When we are truly confident, there is a certain power that insists that we move toward accomplishment. This is an intense force that functions like wind energy. The force creates urgency and impatience that manifests in decisiveness. If we are confident in our abilities and if we are certain that there is a greater purpose, then the force is intensified. This force is our drive. Ways to build confidence. Confidence is a crucial part of humanity. A person having confidence mostly likes themselves, is ready to take risks to accomplish their professional and personal goals, and thinks positively regarding the future. Someone who lacks confidence, on the other hand, is less likely to think that they can accomplish their goals and tends to have a negative perception about themselves and what they wish to achieve in life. The good news is that confidence is something you can develop. Building confidence requires you to develop a positive attitude about yourself and your social connections, while also learning to handle any negative emotions that come up and applying greater self-care. You should learn to set goals and take risks also, since coming across challenges can further develop your confidence. You are confident when you have reliance on yourself and your ability to attempt anything you are or planning to undertake. It is a self-assurance in self or a putting faith in oneself. It is a belief in yourself and a belief in your capability. To learn how to build confidence, you must first identify in which area you have low confidence and the cause that is holding you in this state. We inherit a certain amount of confidence from our forefathers. This is part of our survival mechanism, but for most, the belief we have in ourselves comes from our early years and the experiences we had and lessons we were taught by our parents, siblings, and friends. This is called the writing on the walls of your mind. Much of whom you are today and the confidence you have in yourself is governed by those early years. It may be that your low confidence is particular in one area, and if you look back at your early years, you will find incidences or events that directly affected that one area. Some people whose lack of confidence is severe and experienced incident or incidents that were very traumatic will even block out these events altogether, but the remnants, a shattered lack of confidence, remain. What this tells us is our confidence and self-reliance is directly related to the writing on our walls and who we were convinced we are when we are a child. If you are to learn how to build confidence in yourself, then you must look at the negative beliefs written on the walls of your mind from those early experiences and any since. These negative beliefs will sabotage every effort you make to better your life. They act as the tail enders that lurk in your subconscious. They are saying to you, "Yeah, right, like that's going to happen," or, "You're kidding yourself." They are the doubts, fears, frustrations, and even guilt that never disappear. They rule, and you are dominated by them, and they pound you into submission every day of your life. Beating these negative beliefs is at the forefront of every self-help, personal development, and wealth creation book since time immemorial. Yet for few, less than 1 in 100, do these books make any discernible difference. This is because these books cannot deal directly with the writings on the walls of your mind. They tell you have to think differently, and they are right, but they cannot stop the tail enders from kicking in at the back of your mind. Only you can do that. I strongly encourage you to seek out programs and techniques that target negative beliefs. As you rid yourself of these deliberating emotions, your confidence will build and grow, and your success in life will follow suit. You have enormous potential, and it is only you who is holding yourself back, and it is only you who can either help or hinder yourself. At some time in our life, we all face problems. Unfortunately, it seems the majority of people don't know how to let them go, and they hang on to them even though the source of their problems may be long gone. Chapter 14. Passion, Desire, and the Family of Super Talents That Pull You. The universe has established a kind of magnetism that manifests in various ways. Gravity describes the process by which all things with mass are brought towards one another. The laws of attraction go way beyond physical objects. For instance, a positive mind attracts positive results. Similar to the other occurrences in the universe, there is a family of super talents that receive the magnetic pull that forces our abilities in the direction of things that will allow these abilities to be clearly expressed and displayed on a big scale. In this state, the reward is an explosion of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energy that feeds on itself. There is something electric about this experience, and that electricity may be the source of higher levels of concentration and productivity. Please see Figure 6, The Pull of Passion, on page 95, which demonstrates how the universe endows us with talents and a profound love and appreciation of self. Talents contain more information than physical appearance. The Figure 6 on page 95, shows us where the pull comes from. One of the most common super talents that pull us is passion. It is the emotional intensity that increases the level of energy devoted to a particular thing. Passion usually generates a certain level of interest and love for a particular task. Some individuals appear to be blessed with passion for many things. Unfortunately, this multi-interest could even be a bad thing, as mastery of a particular skill could become very elusive when focus is divided. Passion comes from the greatest love of all, the love of self. Passion is a measure of emotional intensity. It is a deep interest and a fire to be and to do something. That burning desire is driven by a simple law, the law of self. In his early years, a young Ray Charles had a fondness about mechanical objects. Once his musical curiosity was sparked, Charles learned to play the piano with almost mechanical precision. After he became blind at the age of 7, Charles continued to improve his musical abilities as he drew on his senses of touch and hearing. His love for music grew as it served as a means of expressing his inner traits. His passion grew for this mode. Passion is a feeling that draws a talented individual to uses of talent that mirror the total abilities and inclination of the individual. Passion helps us to identify uses of our talents that are like blown-up pictures for all to see. and that will outlive our own limited physical lives. Just take a pause, look around, and you will see. The things we are most passionate about allow us to express more of who exactly we are. It doesn't even have to be a conscious awareness. We are magnetically drawn to these things, even at the subconscious level. Outward influences, though, may accelerate this process. Enthusiasm is another super talent that is highly correlated with passion. It is the energetic interest that comes from a similar place as passion. It is a very infectious vibration that signals a high level of excitement. Exuberance may be described as the quality of being full of energy. It is very important for the talented individual to be open to the emotions and signs that lead toward areas of greatest pull. This pull may come from very unlikely places. Chapter 15. Imagination, Creativity, and the Family of Super Talents that Direct You. The journey to unravel our talents can be a long and difficult one. Even when we think about making the right talent unveiling moves at a high level, every day a talented individual is faced with contending views and different pieces of information and different influences. In the context of a convoluted and confusing world, the talented individual must identify sensible paths and choose sensible options from the wide range of possibilities faced on a daily basis. As important as a compass is to an explorer, there are a set of super talents that provide direction to us when we are on our journey towards fulfillment. These abilities guide us and give us the insight to carry on in the face of varying degrees of uncertainty. At any given point in time, we have multiple courses of action at our disposal. Figure 7 below shows the existence of the uncertainty cloud we face while trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. To see Figure 7, the need for a sense of direction, please see page 98 of the text. In it, you will see a visual representation of the uncertainty cloud, which involves continuous decisions, talent farming, and talent optimization, from root talents and super talents to the par performance puzzle. Again, you will find this visual representation graph on page 98 of the text. The truth is that coaches and mentors assist tremendously in getting us to find our way through the maze of uncertainty. However, when it comes to improvement and application of talent, choice is a continuous thing. At a minimum, the talented individual requires a base level of guidance inclinations that are at work during every waking hour, and even while not awake. These faculties operate at both the conscious and subconscious level. Hence, these guiding talents are required while we practice and also while we execute. The super talents that guide us, when adequately sharpened, may often come across as a type of genius. As we improve our application of these talents over time, our judgment becomes more agile and impactful. These talents that guide us also help us to call upon the other talents when they may be useful in accomplishing meaningful work. Imagination refers to our ability to see the big picture, helping the talented individual to see the wide range of possibilities in the mind's eye. A person with fairly weak imagination may exclude some path of action that would be superior to other paths of action that are more obvious. A broad imagination allows individuals to operate with factors that are outside the set of factors that are most obviously detected by the basic human senses. Albert Einstein is regarded by many as the epitome of the imagination. He realized inadequacies in some of the key theories of physics of the time, and on this basis, he produced his groundbreaking work on the theory of relativity. Einstein's key contributions were developed by his exceptional ability to view the problems in a very universal manner before producing solutions. Overall, imagination was a very important trait that allowed him to make such a distinct mark in the field of science. Moreover, imagination is also very important even in the common fields outside of core sciences. For instance, Usain Bolt may have started off his track and field career by trying to win high school races in Jamaica. After reaching a certain level of success, his imagination may have started to scan the range of possibilities, and with the help of his mentors, he would have seen specific ways in which he could be dominant on the global stage. After accomplishing certain objectives on the world stage, this phenomenal sprinter may have started to imagine specific ways in which he could be regarded as a legendary athlete with a larger-than-life image. Even if his initial thoughts of greatness were triggered by his coaching team, mentors, friends, members of his family, or members of his management team, it is his own ability to see and emotionalize these possibilities that would have nourished the drive and determination to train hard, make sacrifices, and execute at a high standard at the Olympic 100-meter finals. This illustration highlights an imagination that finds a place in track and field history for Usain Bolt, shows him the most necessary life adjustments he must make, and gives him sufficient reason to do whatever he has to do in order to get the job done. A coach with a talent to dream, imagine, and to communicate these dreams and imagined possibilities would be a tremendous advantage in this example. However, it takes imagination to connect with imagination. Usain Bolt would not have received externally hinted possibilities and make the necessary sacrifices over a sustained period of time without possessing the talent to see his own vision and to dream his own dream. The external impulses may only serve to employ the imaginary faculties that already existed. These faculties can be identified early and nurtured over time, just like any other talent. When properly developed, this same imagination will provide a very useful roadmap for the talented individual. In a sense, creativity is imagination in motion and refers to the ability to create new ideas and things with existing physical or non-physical components. The useful application of creative energy produces avenues for the expression of other talents. This super talent is particularly important in navigating through work in parsimonious ways. For instance, while residing at the St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, the teenage Babe Ruth refined his hitting, field, and pitching baseball skills. Under the close guidance of Brother Matthias, one of the monks at the institution, creative techniques would have been employed to push Ruth's technical ability to a level that impressed baseball experts. Even if Matthias was the one who originated the drills that sharpened Ruth's natural abilities, Ruth must have been very creative in his own ways to construct different variations of swings that would help to propel him to the legendary status he now holds. This keen ability may be common across other sports. Top scorers in the National Basketball Association, such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and Wilt Chamberlain, all have stories of how creative obsession pushed them to use information and physical objects at different points in their career to push their scoring to phenomenal heights. The great National Football League quarterbacks such as Tom Brady and Terry Bradshaw must have possessed very high creative intelligence. The importance of creativity goes way beyond sports. In a general fashion, many would agree that there is more to Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Andrew Carnegie than just their understanding of business numbers. These great businessmen have been known to exhibit remarkable levels of creative genius. Although creativity is highly recognizable across a wide range of fields, it is in the arts that creativity may be most compelling. Leonardo da Vinci is one of the fascinating examples of creativity. To date, Leonardo is regarded to be a multidisciplinary genius. Though he may be well known for paintings such as The Last Supper and Mona Lisa, he is also well regarded for his scientific inventions, his originality in mathematics, and his creativity as a writer. Leonardo's creativity is a perfect example of how a super talent may cut across the divide of disciplines. He was a supreme genius whose skills obviously transcended any particular field of work. Curiosity is another ability that may be used to bring out the importance in the super talents that guide the talented individual through the uncertainty clouds. Curiosity refers to the deep need or desire to know more about something. Talent is usually expressed through skills that improve over time. It is curiosity that allows the human being to follow a path of learning required to push skills to new levels. A curious mind is always hungry for more, while learning may occur through various channels. Curiosity intensifies the search and absorption of knowledge that feeds the compass required to navigate through the thick clouds of uncertainty. Curiosity, however, goes hand in hand with comprehension, which is the ability to decode, make sense of, and derive insight from information. What matters most is that bundles of information from the environment can be converted into a form that produces some form of action. In this regard, comprehension is a vital component to continuous improvement and directs the talented individual in a very important way. Understanding creativity and talent. Do you consider yourself as talented or creative? Or both talented and creative? Have you ever thought about whether or not there's a difference between being talented and creative? Is Michael Jordan talented or creative? Or talented and creative? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Enough with the questions. The answer is yes. Yes, there's a difference between being talented and creative. But the truth is, everyone has the power to be both. Talent is defined as the potential or factual ability to perform a skill better than most people, while being creative is defined as making or bringing into existence something new. All people have the capacity to be both talented and creative, but most people believe that they are neither. We've all become so conditioned to only look at creativity and talent in connection with the arts that we're dismissing a wide swatch of very creative and talented people. Every human on the face of the earth, no less. Think about it. Isn't there some skill that you do better than most people? And come on, I just know that you've brought at least one or two ideas into existence over your lifetime. The purpose of this section is to get you to stop thinking so small. Small thinking is a dreadful way to live. Please stop. I'd like you to widen your notion of who can be creative and talented. Trust me, you are both talented and creative. Of course, there are those persons who take their talent and creativity to a level that sets them apart in a significant way. Just look at Michael Jordan, who's both talented and creative. But even Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. The point is, Michael Jordan wasn't always as talented or creative as we came to know him, but he did possess a desire to develop himself to the greatest ability he could imagine. Ah, desire and imagination, two of the most delicious words in the English language. Part of the magic beneath creativity and talent are desire and imagination. It's this tag team duo that will send you down the path of no return in pursuit of nurturing your creative and talent wellspring. Remember that capacity lies within us all. You too can achieve high levels of greatness and achievement through honestly developing your talents and creativity. From there, as they say, the sky is the limit. Chapter 16. Work ethic, willpower, and the family of super talents that keep you on course. The natural abilities that come as endowment at birth and all the support that can be offered by coaches and mentors will come to nothing if work is not done. For instance, confidence and drive only set the stage for the work to be done. We cannot serve a useful purpose unless we do work. So, the world will not experience our talents and benefit from our skills if we do not provide fruits of our labor. Hence, work effort is the figurative verb of these super talents, and it is where the rubber hits the road. Our entire set of root abilities will remain as potential energy until work is applied to turn them into kinetic energy. Because of this very important function, work becomes a special key to help us unlock our potential. In the long run, most persons are not recognized and compensated for their potential energy. Recognition and compensation usually follow work that is done. To borrow from physics, work is the effort made multiplied by distance covered. This depicts that there is some value in exercising tedious effort and getting things done. However, the ability to do smart work enhances the distance that is covered. Moreover, other talents may come into play when we consider this equation. But what we really need to understand is that, at the end of the day, we will be measured by what we have done, and not by our ability to do. In the sense of reality, it is not usually easy to discover our talents, develop these talents, and use them to do work. The process of extracting the value from our talents usually involves many obstacles, disappointments, and pain. Often there are many iterations and difficulties faced in execution. While some individuals quit when the going gets tough, some will persevere and push through the difficulties until their goals are met. Our ability to sustain momentum and focus to handle the pressure and overcome the pain is crucial to executing work with our talents. Therefore, the proof of the talent is in the completion of work. The proof is in the doing. Where we can always hypothesize loosely about the existence of talent, it is difficult to avoid the honesty imposed by the presence and absence of work. Developing on one's ability to do work may not be the path of least resistance, or neither will it be the easy way, but it is a path worth taking as it stands between where we are now and where we need to be. Work ethic has a very big supporting cast. There is a big set of super talents that could have been placed in other categories. These super talents, however, are very critical to the execution of work and are therefore referred to as the family of super talents that keep you on course. Work ethic in itself is the special super talent in this class. Other types of super talents that keep you on course are willpower, focus, discipline, persistence, determination, faith, and composure. Michael Johnson, the elite American sprinter, was the first male athlete to win the 200-meter and 400-meter sprint at the same Olympic Games. What is phenomenal is that he set new world records in both events in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. Each of these events requires grueling sprint and endurance preparation schedules. What is even more remarkable is that Johnson had to qualify through the rounds and run the individual finals in just over a few days. In executing these phenomenal runs, Johnson exhibited tremendous work ethic and also a wide range of attributes in the class of super talents that kept him on course. In his preparation and execution, he must have drawn in other super talent categories to get the pull, push, and direction. The truth is, while we make a distinction between the different categories of super talents, in real life, it is very difficult to separate the talents in the different categories. Chapter 17, The Talent Awakening Process, Summarized. Talent awakening is a full end-to-end process that begins with talent discovery and ends with potential aligned results. Figure 8 below illustrates the productivity formula, which provides a simplified illustration, but, in reality, the different points in the formula may iterate and loop in different directions. Please see Figure 8, the Talent Awakening Process, on page 108 of the text. Figure 8, which is a bit too complicated to describe by voice only, speaks about the purpose-driven mindset that guides decisions and actions, and the preparation phase, building and refining the talent inventory, leading to the execution phase, setting all the energies in motion. Again, let me encourage you to check out Figure 8 on page 108 of the text. It all begins with the talent blueprinting process, whereby root talents are identified and information gathered via introspection and observation. Null talent hypotheses are formed to give an indication of the most observable talents. Information is then used to test the hypotheses and refine the individual's talent definitions. Talent hierarchies are developed to link root talents to macro talent definitions, and once the appropriate hierarchies are developed, super talents are distinguished from activity-specific talents. In most cases, skill or activity-specific talents will take the form of technical attributes. Super talents, on the other hand, will often come across in the form of personality and emotional attributes. So, the application of deliberate or purposeful practice will usually be straightforward in the case of skill or activity-specific talents. Deliberate practice and growth in super talent competencies is a little bit more complex. For instance, auto-practice routines can guarantee improvements in skill or activity-specific talents. Super talents, however, may require other energy triggers such as motivation and emotional stimulation. In SQL, talent development, or competency, curves are established, and they reflect the manner in which each talent will develop when exposed to deliberate or purposeful practice and external stimuli. Both the shape and the apex are identified for each talent. The appropriate talent farming conditions are established to support the development of the selected talents, and this includes appropriate coaching and mentoring. As talents are exposed early to the appropriate work to be done, care needs to be taken to ensure proper alignment between the talents and the work activities. Where the activities are team-related, the proper synergies are taken into account when coordinating the efforts of the individual with the efforts of other individuals. Iterations may also be applied at any point in the process. Certainly, super talents will have a hypothetical multiplier effect on talent productivity. Therefore, super talents that keep you on track, and particularly work ethic, will be very important in the production process. The purpose-driven mindset, when the individual understands and emotionalizes the need to obtain a particular purpose, reflected via the decision-action matrix, is applied throughout the talent activation process, where the natural judgment of the talented individual must overcome different degrees of fear, doubt, and anxiety related to mass opinion. Talent blueprinting and talent farming support are crucial throughout the preparation stage and also throughout the work execution phase. Invariably, confidence, drive, and the family of super talents that push you will be activated when the conditions are right. Passion, desire, and the family of super talents that pull you will trigger the right emotions to keep the individual motivated and energized. Imagination, creativity, and the family of super talents that direct you will guide the individual and the other stakeholders through the uncertainties of the process. Work ethic, willpower, and the family of super talents that keep you on course will be applied to produce the type of work that brings the talented individual close to his or her goals. When work is done and progress is realized, the action and progress that is experienced will feed the burning desire to achieve more. Hence, drive fuels further work and the talents are continuously reactivated. Eventually, continuous execution pushes the individual closer to potential aligned results. PAR. Chapter 18, Talent Optimization, Rigorous Application of the TAP. The cold reality is that many individuals are pushed away from their talents, either by their parents or by their loved ones. Likewise, many individuals place a tremendous emphasis on getting a solid education and seeking after the prime positions of being a doctor, a lawyer, or other well-known sources of employment that tend to result in high wages and salaries. Though encouraging individuals to pursue this narrow track may prove beneficial in some situations, there are many cases of individuals who have been pushed along a certain path, only to find out later in life that they are not properly aligned. Some individuals pursue safe careers in areas such as medicine, law, finance, or accounting, while sacrificing other less common options that would have created more value and, most importantly, would have made much better use of their natural talents. Unfortunately, we tend to realize where we have gone wrong when we hit the premature ceiling of accomplishment. For instance, a student may do very well early in school, but based on her mastery of some of the key subjects like the sciences or mathematics, her parents gladly influence her to become a medical doctor, whereas this child always had an affinity for music. Therefore, these inclinations were never really properly explored because her parents believed that being a doctor would provide a more secure future for the child. Moreover, they would feel more comfortable making the investment in medicine. To an appreciable extent, this may prove beneficial. However, a problem may arise if later in life this talented person realizes that her true calling was actually in music. If this person never becomes a musician, there will always be a lack of fulfillment. Often, there are some risks associated with pursuing one's talent. Therefore, finding one's true talent may wind up being an iterative process that requires many failures through trial and error, though this may be a very big problem. For instance, Mary is a talented individual who has, up until the age of 25 years old, to complete a college degree with the support of her parents. It so happens that, instead of getting a completed degree in an area that will result in instant employment, Mary decides to pursue a music career to fulfill her lifelong passion. At the age of 25 years old, there is no college degree, no hit records, and Mary does not possess any readily employable skills. At this point, it may be fair for her parents to stop providing financial assistance to Mary. All her friends who had encouraged her to stick with a more predictable option will now say, "I told you so." Now, Mary is faced with the economic reality of covering her own living expenses and has to take a low-paying job with a fast food restaurant chain. She struggles to make ends meet, and there is very little scope for self-improvement and promotion. She will never be close to being the employee of the month because, after all, music is her true passion. In a situation like this, her life is simply a living disaster. Her case is the story of many gifted individuals who make a big mistake or lack the proper support and expertise in taking a more strategic and measured approach in properly employing their talents to achieve their purpose in life. Despite the risks associated in discovering and using one's talents, The greatest risk of all is the risk of going through life and never being what one was supposed to be. If Michael Jackson had become a lawyer instead of a musician, the world would have missed out on a tremendous talent. If Albert Einstein had restricted himself only to safe mathematical theories that attracted very little criticism, we would not have gotten the theory of relativity. If Jerry Rice or Jim Brown had decided to focus on getting regular salaried jobs instead of pursuing their risky dreams of excelling in the National Football League, the NFL and all its fans would have missed out on a real treat. If Babe Ruth had decided to take a safer route than being a sports person, he would not have had such monumental impact on baseball. Consequently, it is very dangerous to have a total shutdown of our natural abilities in order to pursue less risky or more sensible options. Also, it is very dangerous to blindly pursue activities that we believe are our gifts simply because we enjoy or feel comfortable doing them. What is required is an approach to identifying our root abilities, an honest assessment of these abilities, and a logical framework to narrow down our talents while aligning them to feasible applications. At this point, we propose the Talent Optimization Plan, TOP, as a possible solution to this need. This is a rigorous framework that may serve to awaken the talents within. The approach is premised on honesty, and the scoring is best done under objective conditions, supervised by a talent coach or mentor. Please see page 114 of the text for Figure 9, the Talent Optimization Approach. This chart starts with specific talents and asks you to multiply them by super talents, then by work ethic, and then by average annual cash or non-cash return for the top talent in the field. In order to see this valuable tool, please consult page 114 of the text. Figure 9 illustrates the talent optimization approach. This approach is based on first identifying and filtering talents to a manageable number based on the talent blueprinting model. These talents are then mapped for different uses that are either economically feasible or deserve to be assigned a dollar value based on social contribution or satisfaction derived. The return is usually derived from the value that is created for others in some way. For instance, if the first option for Mary is the medical profession, and a top doctor in the specialized field she would access in the USA earns an average of, say, US $200,000 per year over a 40-year career. This means that maximum accessible lifetime earning in this field is 40 times US $200,000, which is equal to US $8 million. We first have to go through Mary's talent skill set to calculate her expected lifetime earnings from this profession. Let us say that after doing a full assessment of Mary's specific and super talents, we are able to summarize her macro skill set as follows. Mary's Talent Grid Optimization Analysis. This is a chart that you can see on page 115. It is in two columns. Column 1, Specific Talents. Column 2, Score out of 10 relative to the competition. So for example, with Mary's Talent Grid, under Specific Talents we would have Science, Diagnosis, and Treatment Talent. Her score out of 10 is 6. Her Communication Talent is 8. Her Patient Care Talent is 4. Now you would add those up to get her super talents when applied to profession, not including work ethic. Next, you add her confidence, which is 6, drive, which is 5, passion, which is 5, focus, which is 4, and summing those, you find her work ethic when applied to profession, not including work ethic. And finally, you add her work ethic. To make complete visual sense of this table, please consult Mary's Talent Grid on pages 115 to 116 of the text. Mary's optimization calculation for the medical profession option would look like the following. Specific talent calculations, Science, Diagnostic, and Treatment Talent Score, 6, plus Communication Talent Score, 8, plus Patient Care Talent Score, 4, equals 18 out of a possible score of 30. Super talent calculations, not including work ethics. Confidence score is 6, drive score is 5, passion score is 5, focus score is 4. That equals 20 out of a possible score of 40. Work ethic score, the work ethic score equals 5 out of a possible score of 10. Now adding everything together, Mary's expected lifetime earnings in the medical profession is 18 divided by 30 times 20 divided by 40 times 5 divided by 10 times 8 million US dollars equals US $1,200,000. Now, if Mary really wishes to do music, she would have to do a similar assessment of the music option. The medical profession expected returns will serve as a minimum hurdle rate. After an honest assessment, If the expected returns from music cannot stand up to the number test, then Mary will have to take a more careful look at her root talents and the range of options available to her. Whatever the results of the initial assessment, Mary will have to seek the assistance of a qualified talent coach to create a talent blueprinting strategy, a talent farming plan, and better refinements of the numbers to determine the optimal route that needs to be taken to give her a good chance of future success. Once the plan has been crafted, Mary's coach and mentors will support and monitor her progress. Her support system will also manage changes and pivots in directions by carefully planning and calculating different courses of action that need to be taken. This support process will occur until Mary reaches potential aligned results. This is the talent optimization process. Talent monetization goes a far way in adding meaning to the talent optimization process. Monetization is the process of converting one's talent into earnings, which is usually generated where talents are intelligently applied, create products and services to others. Anyone who receives the products are the customers of the talented individuals. Customers who are willing and able to pay will reward talented individuals with earnings as an expression of gratitude. The free market economic system provides a channel by way of markets through which these types of exchanges may occur. A market is a meeting place that facilitates the exchange of goods and services for other goods and services in the case of a barter system, or for a common medium of exchange, such as money. Earnings may take any of these reward forms, and the amount of earnings may vary depending on the nature of the good or service that the talents are used to produce, the timing with which these are produced, the person or persons to which these goods and services are being produced, their willingness and ability to pay, and the level of competition or sources that provide a high-quality alternative available in the market space. It must be pointed out that those self-sufficiency skills such as entrepreneurial skills for profit and social enterprise go a long way in the optimization process as they tend to expand the range of possible avenues through which talents can be applied. For instance, Mary may struggle to find a music job, but if she had strong entrepreneurial skills, she could start her own music business and structure it in a way that she gets to employ most of her natural abilities. She could use a strong background in setting up social organizations to create music communities with other individuals who are passionate about music. Chapter 19: Building Team Systems, Talent Mixing, and Synergy. Teamwork is a very important part of human endeavor which has proven to yield more benefits than individual effort in regular family life, business, sports, and other social activities. Teamwork often relates to the mixing of individual talents under a specific arrangement to accomplish a particular objective. A team may best be viewed as a system of connected, talented individuals that is arranged to meet a particular objective. For instance, a basketball team of players is defined by 5 players on the court at any point in time. The objective of the team is to outscore the opponents by scoring points through a basket while restricting the rate at which the opponents score. In so doing, different players may be given different responsibilities within the team. For instance, a point guard may have the responsibility to dribble the ball down the court and to initiate offensive plays. On the other hand, the center is positioned near the basket and is required to score from close range or get open for a pass. The important thing to note is that the different roles come together to make the team accomplish a particular end. Interestingly, the aura of a team also pulls from the aura of the individuals. This aura is the reflection of talents through a magnetic energy field that may be sensed by observers. Importantly, when it comes to team building, another super talent must be considered, which is the team spirit inclination. Since the team is a system of connected, talented individuals, the ability of each individual to connect with other team members determines the quality of interconnectivity within the team system. This interconnectivity is usually referred to as team spirit or chemistry. The success of the team usually depends on the quality of the arrangement, the quality of the talents employed, and the quality of the team spirit. All of these are relative to the qualities contained in opposing teams. Likewise, the interconnectivity between talents allows energy to flow between talents in a circuitry that helps to access greater talent potency. The better the team spirit, the better the frequency of energy circulation within the team. This energy circulation gives rise to synergy, a force that increases the output of a team over and above the level that is obtainable if individual talents produce and the output is added. While a broken team will make each talent less productive, a properly functioning team will increase talent productivity. Note that the arrangement of the effective team system also requires a tremendous degree of talent. The arranger must be inclined to break down the work in the most strategic and effective manner, accurately identify the talents required, carefully reintegrate the system, properly manage every feature, monitor team performance, and make corrective changes where necessary. The composer must adequately motivate the persons involved in order to obtain the desired outcome. The talent synergy map below provides a visual illustration of the team building process. To see Figure 10, the talent synergy map, please consult page 121 of the text. The team system arrangement and talent synergy map starts in 3 stages: Stage 1, work decomposition; Stage 2, talent mapping; and Stage 3, reintegration. It is a bit too complicated to describe by voice only, so please see it on page 121 of the text. In this illustration, the team arrangement refers to the active process of decomposing the work to be done, sourcing and mapping the appropriate talents, and reintegrating the work components into the greater whole. In this process, the work is divided in order to multiply the output. Thus, the level of team spirit is dependent on the team spirit inclination of the talents included in the process, and also the management and motivation of these talents. Considering the different musical instruments used to compose an orchestra, an effective team building requires skillful composition. A team composer has to carefully examine the talents that are available and to ensure that the talents fit in a way that creates the best possible outcomes. In reality, different coaches will have different styles and preferences. Whatever the style or preference may be, synergy is usually a feature that is targeted when teams are being composed. Synergy occurs where the sum of the combination of talent yields more than the sum of the individual output. For instance, if one laborer on a wall construction site is able to move 10 stones per minute, 2 laborers may be able to move 25 stones per minute due to synergy. The key to synergy is energy transfer. This is where the energy from one individual flows to another individual in the team. Taking confidence as a case study, a basketball team may have 5 players on the court, and one of the players is a truly gifted player who is operating at the level of supreme unconditional confidence. If this player is the most confident, then the player will be the highest source of confidence energy. Under normal conditions, the other players in the team will temporarily feed from the energy of the gifted player, and the team confidence will generally increase for the duration of the connection period. This flow of confidence energy will be more intense if the gifted player also has a high degree of team spirit and is able to connect well with the other players in the team. Therefore, it is important to note that talents linked to non-physical attributes such as emotion are easier to transfer than physical capabilities. However, selfishness would be a mitigating factor as it weakens the level of connection between players. Generally, selfishness is an extreme focus on self. Where the genuinely team-spirited individual focuses on the benefits to be derived on a team level, an extremely selfish individual would be more concentrated on benefits to self. This weakens the level of positive talent transfer, as selfish energy will also transfer and intensify the level of selfishness in the team. This generally inhibits positive energy and usually results in weaker team performance. Humility is another ability that amplifies team spirit. It is the ability of an individual not to overemphasize their great attributes, as they are aware of their weak attributes that other members of the team complement. While selfishness and extreme internal criticism create a hostile environment for a team to fully exercise the gift of team spirit, humility creates a welcoming environment for all team members. It is the collective humility within a team that allows each member to express themselves in a relaxed way, thereby invoking one team member to always want to do well for all other team members. In this environment, there is very little suppression and talents tend to thrive. Importance of team building. Team building is the course of transforming a group of people or employees into a unified team. A group of people established to work together cooperatively and interdependently to meet the needs of their clients by achieving their goal and purpose. Team building can involve everyday interaction that employees undertake when working together to discharge the requirements of their jobs. It can as well involve planned activities and exercises that employees can manage. Or, with the right goals and budget, leaders can contract out for assistance with an external resource. Team building is very important when you want to make sure that your organization is functioning well. When staff members are in constant fight or detest each other, working together on projects can turn out to be difficult, and you may perhaps find yourself with employees that aren't very creative. Having a mediator come in to share related exercises or bringing in a team building speaker to address these problems can make the difference between your organization underperforming or being a success. The major thing that expertly led team building events allow you to do is unfold and develop communication channels. In a collegial environment, your employees can openly discuss what they find to be a hindrance to their teamwork, and many employees will also recognize that their own behavior has been an issue that can be easily improved. Once the team issues are out in the open, respectful dialogues can be had, and from there, the relationship between employees, as well as between management and employees, will improve. With improved relationships comes better and more productive teamwork, which means the quality of the work being done will improve as well. The events also help to motivate employees to become more pleasant to work with. By recognizing the assumptions and issues in their own perspective or approach, employees can target these areas and try to fix the way that they interact in a team. Once they start to work better with other employees, they will become more confident in their abilities, and they might discover that leadership comes easier when they get along with their team. This could open many doors for them and motivate them not to back down from challenges. Having an experienced team-building speaker present will definitely make things easier during these events. With a speaker present, there is an impartial and engaging third party that will be able to better motivate employees and give them a fresh perspective. Team-building activities run by a speaker will also force your employees to think creatively, since it will be something new outside of the usual office tasks. Once your employees learn to work together under these new circumstances, they will find it much easier to cooperate when they're working together on work projects. Employees will also have new skills and insights in their back pockets after listening to a team-building speaker. They will learn new problem-solving skills and learn to think about problems and teamwork in a different way, making them more valuable to your organization. Developing these skills will help them a lot in future endeavors as well as future team projects. Another good thing that comes from attending team-building events is that, by opening up communication channels, your employees start to trust each other more as well as their management. If you get the feeling that your employees might not feel very connected to you and that the gap between management and employee is too wide, it might be time for all of you in the office to work through a few team-building exercises together. Chapter 20. Realistic Challenges and the Misuse of Talent. Many individuals get pushed into a particular direction out of pure necessity. For instance, if Mary is inclined to become a musician and she is passionate about entering the field, but at the age of 22, Mary's musical talents are not sufficiently developed for her to be gainfully employed with her musical talents. In this period, she has her basic bills to cover, and as a result of that, she seeks a job at the community corner store. The income is hardly sufficient for Mary to immediately attend music classes to refine her skills, and along the line, Mary meets Jack and the two get married and decide to start a family. Right away, their incomes have to be pooled to take care of their family needs. Mary therefore decides to postpone her music ambitions in order to ensure that the family needs are met. As time goes on, both Mary and Jack get promotions that result in incremental salary increases over the next 10 years. At the age of 32, the couple gets another child, but Mary still longs for the days when she could play music, as her dream is still to become a musician. However, at this point in life, her family is her priority, and the family has put plans in place to finance their children's education. Definitely, she has to postpone her dreams for another time. There are some economic realities that force individuals to make decisions that work against the utilization of their talents. Even with talent optimization, timing may dictate that Mary pursues a line of work that provides needed income in the short term. The truth is that while long-term goals are very important, the short term happens first. In reality, any talent development planning must incorporate a plan to address financing and employment, particularly at different stages in life. The talent optimization process, discussed in a previous chapter, captures this cycle to some extent. However, due to the power of the economic forces, this point warrants careful attention. In the early stages, the individual is protected from the economic realities by parents and guardians who work hard to provide the basic necessities such as food, clothing, shelter, and security. Ideally, talent blueprinting and talent farming should start early in this stage in order to get the individual quickly to the point where their talents are being applied. If the blueprinting occurs early enough, then much of the child's early education and exposures may be tailored to enhance their identifiable talents as much as possible. As the child nears the legal age of consent, the ideal situation is that real life exposures are offered to allow the individual to gain hands on experiences in creating revenue streams from refined talents and abilities. Even if the individual does not use these talents to generate income, the application of the talents must be structured in a manner that would not conflict with other revenue making efforts and family related developments later in life. The key is to ensure that the factors that will impact the short term deviations are properly considered when planning the talent utilization channels. Often, the forces of the economic wind put needs squarely in the middle of decision making. If talents do not yield returns in the short term, economic needs may dictate that the plans to properly employ these talents be aborted in favor of alternatives that more urgently satisfy the financial needs. Chapter 21: Overcoming Fear. There is nothing to fear except fear itself. This is just plain philosophical rhetoric. It is not going to be easy to overcome fear permanently, if at all possible. We live in fear and worry all our lives. Without proper knowledge and positive action to alleviate fear and worry, most people suffer for the most part of their lives. Apart from that, people around them are also negatively affected. Fear and worry manifest themselves in many forms. However, they originate from the mind. If one is able to overcome fear permanently, one will also be able to overcome whatever problems that trouble the mind, including worry. Fear is an autonomic reaction to some stimulus that creates a fight or flight response in our brain. It is not something that we consciously create. We simply experience its effects physically as well as psychologically. It is a core human emotion that sends a danger signal to our brain and plays a very important role in keeping us away from trouble. If fear is created and experienced for logical reasons, it has utility. But when the emotion is created and experienced repetitively for no logical reason at all, it becomes damaging. When we create a negative picture about future events in our mind, we create fear, which in turn causes worry and anxiety. Negative hormones associated with the emotion get produced in our brains as a result and affect our body as well as mind. Worrying about the future and feeling anxious is only one of the ways we may be experiencing fear. There are several other things we may feel fearful about: losing a job, old age, a spouse's infidelity, bankruptcy, disease. The list can go on and on. Only you can stop the impact of fear. Check your thoughts and clear the clutter of useless fears from your mind to live with more peace and positivity. Consequences of fear. Our fears are not simply isolated events that have no impact on our current reality and future circumstances. In fact, they may indeed have a significantly larger and more influential impact on our lives than we give them credit for. Just think about it and consider the following points the next time your fears get the better of you. Triggers resistance. Your fears build a magnetic resistance attraction that draw you away from opportunities and back into your comfort zone, where survival and safety is of major concern. The moment you avoid doing something because of an unreasonable fear is the exact moment that you are letting opportunities pass you by. These opportunities can arise in the form of people, events, objects, or even the personal growth that you go through as you work over your fears. Bring about insecurity. Each and every time you give in to your fears, you are at that very moment breeding the habit of insecurity, which can literally eat you alive from the inside out. Insecurity is basically a lack of confidence that one feels about one's abilities. Insecurity is in fact a precursor to depression, and it is triggered as a result of not being able to deal with our fears in rational and proactive ways. When you are feeling insecure, your life comes to a halt, and you begin second-guessing every decision. This likewise slows you down and leads to many other destructive emotional outcroppings. Suppresses motivation. Motivation is a vital factor as we go on our journeys towards achieving life and business success. Our fears drain us of our motivations because they obstruct our lives with an overwhelming amount of irrational difficulties that just seem too hard and devastating to deal with. Our motivation is suppressed each and every time we encounter one of these obstructions, and over time, we easily condition ourselves with the belief that hope is ineffective and that life will always be there to place us back into our place. Suppresses intellectual and emotional development. To grow and develop ourselves intellectually and emotionally, we have to move beyond our comfort zones and into the world of new experiences. If, however, our fears are dictating our daily actions and decisions, then hesitancy will dominate our behavior and will result in half-hearted actions that always pull us back into our comfort zones. Life is designed as a progressive tool that challenges and teaches us lessons that will assist to further our intellectual and emotional growth. Without new experiences, we cannot grow. Without growth, we cannot make progress. And without progress, life is futile and emotionally draining. Suppresses good decision-making. Because our fears are unreasonable interpretations we make regarding our physical life, they easily suppress our decision-making abilities. It's much like driving a car with dim windows. Yes, we are aware of where we're going. However, we have to slow down to a crawl because we fear that we may hit something unintentionally. If our fears overwhelm us completely, then we will simply pull the car over and stop. On the other hand, as we take off our fears from our experience, the dim windows become clear, allowing us to see faraway distances, to move at faster speeds, and to make effective and more planned decisions based on the clearer perception we have of our journey ahead. Steps to overcome fear. Nothing terrifies people more than their greatest fears. Why? Because it only exists inside the mind, and nearly all of us would rather avoid overcoming that beast than try calming it. We make fear real by concentrating on those fears a lot that they manifest before us. If you have been looking for ways to overcome your greatest fears, but have fallen short on thoughts, don't worry. This chapter is packed with some of the most effective ways to tackle fear and put it to rest forever. Listed below are 7 ways to overcome your biggest fears. Confront your fears anyway. In talking regarding different ways to overcome your biggest fears, possibly the most noticeable and direct mode of tackling them is by marching directly into them. Why would you allow your thoughts to order what you will and will not do in life? Don't become slaves to your thoughts. Master them instead. Challenge the negative ones and say, "Hey, you don't get to boss me around. I understand you feel afraid, but it's okay. You're safe." Your ego loves to run the show. But to overcome your biggest fears, you can't allow it to take center stage. You can't develop in life unless you learn to work through your fears regardless of how very real they could seem. Focus on other things besides what you're afraid of. How many times do we fixate on our thoughts until we feel paralyzed by them? Probably far too often. If you have too much time on your hands, your mind will need something to keep it busy. And unfortunately, the mind just loves to worry and plan and analyze. It loves to solve problems, and sometimes it gets carried away and tries to solve problems that don't even exist yet. You see, fear doesn't, however, occur till we make it real by fascinating over the thought of the fear itself. When reflecting on ways to overcome your greatest fears, try to remember that what you allot the most energy to will certainly manifest. So, by concentrating on love, kindness, and positive things regarding your life, you will begin to see more of that coming to light. Practice meditation. Perhaps one of the best ways to overcome your biggest fears is through the peaceful practice of meditation. Meditation allows you to go down gently into a deep space of relaxation, yielding to the present moment and dismissing fear in the course. Lots of studies have established how meditation can lessen fear and regular stress by separating us away from our thoughts temporarily and stripping off all of the personalities we have gotten over our feelings and thoughts. In other words, meditation causes everything that isn't us to melt away, leaving behind our actual selves. If you have been very much searching for ways to overcome fear, search nowhere else but within For the solutions, try to reflect on the positives of brazing out your fears. Rather than thinking of fear in a pessimistic light, attempt to see the bright side of it. Fear gives us a challenge, a character-forming occasion. Furthermore, concentrate on the way you will feel after facing your fears. The feeling of excitement, freedom, and strength you will feel next should make standing up to your fears worth it eventually. Start exercising your mind to concentrate on the way you want to feel instead of the way you do feel in the moment, and your fears will begin to transform into excitement. Forgive yourself. If you struggle with chronic stress, nervousness, or just irregular bouts of extreme worrying, stop beating yourself up. This will only continue the cycle you have submitted yourself to of feeling fear, getting angry with yourself for feeling that way, and therefore drawing more of what you don't want. The path to free will lies in understanding and forgiveness. So when you think of ways to overcome your greatest fears, remember to deal with yourself kind-heartedly. Fear will just keep showing up until you can apologize to yourself and just let your thoughts move through you instead of frequently fighting them. Show appreciation. Nearly everyone experiences fear because they have shifted their thought away from what they already have to start with. Fear develops from a discomfort of the unknown, but appreciation starts with focusing on what you've been blessed with already. Different ways to overcome your fears can include showing appreciation for what you have, as well as what you are yet to live through. Feel appreciative for your fear, and then you can start cracking through the resistance you've built against new experiences, people, and places. Start off with the basics: nutrition, sleep, and exercise. Fear and anxiety are pretty much synonymous. At the heart of anxiety lies a fear of something seemingly out of one's control. However, have you been paying attention to what you can control? You get to decide what to put in your body, what type of exercise you do, and how much sleep you will get. All of these factors can greatly affect your mental health. Research has revealed that sleep deprivation can truly bring about anxiety disorders, and several studies have related poor gut bacteria triggered by diet to greater stress and anxiety levels. Lack of exercise also contributes to buildup of tension in the mind and body, therefore leading to anxiety. While fear is an important emotion that is needed to ensure one's safety from real threats and dangers, it is important to put it to use the way nature intended. Needlessly living with fear and its associated negative emotions can have a significantly deleterious effect on your quality of life. Only you, and the people really close to you, can know what emotion you carry inside your mind. If it is fear, you need to take charge and make some changes. Identify all your fears, their causes, and validity. Dismiss the useless ones. You'll be surprised just how many of those there are. Through some gentle self-counseling, and you will feel lighter and more joyful almost instantly. This mental activity will turn out to be one of the best things you ever did for yourself. Conclusion. There are lots of tools and resources on discovering your purpose and learning to live in your purpose, and various tools focus especially on monetizing your life's purpose. I believe there is a requirement to all of this. It is not a qualifying factor, but most definitely an essential one. It should be considered a clarifying point. Skills are the basis of everyday life. Everyone has a certain number of things that they are skilled in. Skills are often things that everyone must have at some level of proficiency in order to maintain the necessities of everyday life. Different people can have varying levels of skill at the same tasks. Some examples of skills are driving, walking, speaking, cooking, etc. This is easily understandable, and I don't think anyone would mistake their skill of walking as being theirs or someone else's purpose. It is still necessary to acknowledge this level of proficiency. The primary reason is because the line begins to gray at the next level when a person is very proficient at a specific skill to the point where it would be considered a gift or talent. Many people have a skill that they are known for doing well. It may be something as simple as being a good cook. However, every good cook's purpose in life is not to be a chef. It is at the point that a person's proficiency at a specific skill could be considered a gift or talent that most people get lost on the road to finding their purpose. Not everything that a person does well is what they want to do for a living. Sometimes they only enjoy sharing their talent or talents with a small group like immediate family. So the question becomes, how can a person tell the difference between gifts, talents, and purpose? There are two simple questions with possibly not so simple answers that can help a person find their purpose and ensure they don't get stuck doing something they do well but were not intended to do for a living. The first question is, what would I do for free as often as possible for the rest of my life? This takes the person who loves to cook for their family to the next level, where they want to cook at every opportunity and have a vision of becoming a successful chef and owning their own restaurant. The second question is, what would I regret if I didn't do or feel unfulfilled because I did not share it with the world at large? This takes the family cook and puts them in a situation where they are ready, willing, and able to cook for family, friends, social groups, charities, etc. The other side to this coin is the point where they are not only fulfilled by cooking, but also by the reaction from people and what their cooking does to enrich others' lives. Take some time to survey the things you do well and enjoy. Answer the two questions above, and you will be on a solid path to living your purpose. References: Mastery by Robert Greene, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, Work the System by Sam Carpenter, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Finding Your Element by Sir Ken Robinson, The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Wattles, Peak: Secrets from the New Science of Expertise by Anders Ericsson. This has been Tap to Unlock, Talent Awakening Process for Unlocking Human Potential by Percival Hurditt. Read by Dallin Decker of soundfridge.com. That's soundfridge.com. Seriously cool voiceovers. The end.